Hello there, everyone, and welcome back to another LivesSCREAM live stream. Sorry, this one's a little bit later tonight. It's just when you've got kids, it's one of them. They go to bed quite late now. I've got my little lad next to me here, but he should be out the room in a couple of minutes. My wife should be down in a minute to take him away. But if I do have to move away from the stream just for a couple of minutes, Tom will just do his best to take over a little bit, but it should be fine, hopefully. But yeah, these things never run smoothly, do they? If you can hear some noise in the background there, I'm sorry, but that should be gone very, very shortly. But we've got Tom on the stream again today. All right, Tom, how are you, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. How are you?
Yeah. All right, mate. Yeah, I'm just a bit exhausted today, right? But, yeah, I'm ready to go. I've just been watching loads of live streams lately, and just want to jump into the conversation, you know what I mean?
So that you were itching, mate, yeah?
Yeah, and there's been lots of horror news last week or two. So, you know, there's plenty to talk about. I briefed it with Tom, what we're going to go over and stuff like that. So, Tom, I know you've been on the channel before, mate, and you haven't got a channel yourself, have you? But remember you saying to me you were thinking about doing one?
Yeah.
Is that still in the pipeline?
Yeah, I think so. I've kind of... Do you know what it is, right? I call it me in a bitch, and I'm trying to not let it win type of thing. It's quite nerve-wracking putting myself out there like that, but I mean, I like doing this kind of stuff. I enjoy, you know, chewing the fat with yourself, and I like to think of you know, I may not be the most clued up person in the world about the horror and all that grip, but yeah, we have a go and see what's what. But with my kind of stuff, it's more like, I don't know about how to edit videos and that type of stuff, but it is something I'm definitely looking into. And maybe even what we kind of spoke about in brief earlier, if we could kind of discuss that a bit more and maybe go from there and see what's what. But yeah, it is something I've been mulling over and I've been thinking about lately.
Yeah, well, mate, to be honest, mate, I don't think many people start off YouTube being good at it. You know, it's something you learn as you go. So, I mean, I'm still learning every time I make a video. So, and I've been doing it for 3 years now. I know I've only had this channel for less than a year, but I've had my other one, of course, Movie Worm and stuff. So, you just learn as you go, I suppose. And you meet loads of new people who encourage you and stuff like that. So, basically, we're just going to be talking about today. I look back at 2023 in horror. Then we're going to go over lots of news segments that I broke down. And we're going to go over some 2024 movies we're looking at. So I hope everyone enjoys this content. If you've got any horror-related questions or comments you want to talk about, put them in the chat and we'll try and answer them all. I'm sure we can probably get to them all anyway. So just feel free. Whatever horror-related stuff you want to talk about, just feel free and put it in the comments. So I've got one comment here from Tom180. Hello guys, hope you're all well. All right, Tom, thanks for coming along, mate. Right. Like I said, guys, if you just come to the stream, sorry if there's any background noise, but that should be gone very, very shortly. I've just got my little lad next to me, and my wife's gonna come and take him in a minute when the other one's gone to sleep, and that was like half an hour ago. So he's just lying here next to me. He's just playing with his toys and stuff. So sorry about that. But yeah, so Tom, before I get into all that, mate, is there any horror movies, TV shows that you've watched lately that you like the last couple of weeks?
Recently, I went to see Night Swim in the cinema last week, and to be honest, mate, I was going to bring that one up.
I was going to bring that one up when we got to 2024. If that's
do apologise, mate. You said lately.
No, it's fine, it's fine. But I've actually wrote that down when we get to that segment. So, is there anything else apart from that? Go on. We'll talk about Night Swim. Go on. We'll talk about Night Swim. Go ahead. Go for it.
All right, mate. Well, it's probably not a great segue into it, but
no, it's fine.
I think you had kinder words to say about it than I did. My girlfriend enjoyed it. She thought it was good. I just thought the CGI was terrible. The entity looked terrible when it come on the screen. The only time I think it looked pretty scary is when it was in the, actually in the swimming pool. I don't know what it's called, like the vents thing, and it grabs the kid's hand. I thought the dialogue was awful. I thought the film was riding a lot on the male protagonist, and I can't really remember the actor's name.
Wyatt Russell,
yeah. But and then as the movie kind of got on, I just found his dialogue to get more cringy, and there was just, I don't know, mate. I don't know. There was a scene where towards the end, where a glass kind of started moving towards the edge of the counter and fell off. And I just thought, why didn't you just make a haunted house film if it was if it was a poltergeist anyway? I don't know. It just, for me, there's nothing scary about a swimming pool. But like you kind of said in the video, January is not the greatest month for horror. So, hopefully things pick up.
Yeah, I mean, it's notorious for not being the greatest month in horror, isn't it? I mean, they always just release, studios haven't got much faith in it and stuff, they just throw it out there. I think I liked it up to a point. I think it was going okay for the first 45 minutes, I suppose. I liked the story building and stuff. I wanted to know what was the mystery behind this pool and stuff like that. But I think it did trail off in the third act when we were starting to unravel the mystery of it, and just Wyatt Russell's wife was taking it on her own to find out what was actually happening and stuff. And then I think there was a chance there to do something, and it just went totally downhill for me. But yeah, like I predicted, me lads trying to ruin a stream.
It's all right, mate. No sweat.
Can you hear anything in the background there?
Yeah, but I'm just pretending it's a ghost. but it's hard. Go on, mate.
Yeah. So sorry, mate. So
yeah,
we've got it. Go on.
I was just going to point out. We're just going back to the thing that the swimming pool is not a scary thing. It's quite a hard thing to do, and Stephen King is a master of it, taking things that aren't scary and making them terrifying, and it's a massive skill. And I think it was adored, and I just don't think it was pulled off very well.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was interesting to see a swimming pool movie, but because you don't really get too many. I think I've seen one called Swim Fan years ago, and that was about a killer who was stalking this lad who was into swimming and stuff. But I think Tom's just going to have to take over the stream. Just 1 second, mate. I'll be back in a second. I'm really sorry about this, everyone. Really sorry about this.
Right, I'm not going to lie. This has been through on my toes a bit here. It's my second time ever doing YouTube. Anyone wants to get a comment in and ask me a question or anything, that'd be great. Tell you what, maybe if you talk about a couple of films that weren't great throughout 2023 before Jordan gets back, and talk about the ones I did like. It seems like I'm just moaning about films now. But the big one that I'm pretty much stood on an island on, it's critically acclaimed at this point. It's known as the goriest one throughout all 10 of them, which is Saw 10. I thought the first 2 acts of the film were brilliant. It did a fantastic job of making you almost sympathise with John Kramer, who, after 9 films, we know obviously is Jigsaw, and after 9 films of him brutally torturing people, almost made him feel sorry for him, that he was, basically he goes to Mexico, doesn't he, for a cancer surgery, that he hears about this new radical treatment that's not available in the US. And they kind of have him off for his money, basically, and he sees his ass and he's not happy about it at all. And as you can imagine, I don't want to go into too many spoilers, especially if you're into the Saw franchise and you haven't seen it yet. I thought the first 2/3 of the film were brilliant. I was right into it. I only started watching it about a couple of nights ago, showed Jordan. I just thought towards the end, I don't want to say too much if you haven't seen it, but I just thought towards the end, they ramped it up to a 10 or 11 even, and they kept it there for about the first hour and 15 minutes of the film. And then the last half hour, I wouldn't say it was rushed. I'd just say they took the pedal off the gas for a bit, and the end kind of killings or the final climax of the movie didn't quite pay off the way I would have liked it to. Yeah, just talking about short end, I don't know if you caught any of that.
Yeah, sorry, really sorry about that, everyone, but
It's all right, mate.
No, this will not happen again. So, yeah, Saw X, mate. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because I know you just recently watched it, haven't you? Yeah, I thought it was like the biggest surprise of the year for me, to be honest.
Well, as I say, we're a bad. I've got it written down here. I've got like, about 5 or 6 films that I've called duds. It's not that the duds. Some of them are critically acclaimed, like that one, but just for me, there was just something weren't right, or I had a bigger expectation going into the film. That's why when we're talking about 2024 films, you'll probably be able to tell me more about them than I'll be able to tell you. Don't know if that's what you wanted to hear or what, but because I've kind of promised myself. Yeah, no, it's just I'm bored of watching trailers, having high expectations for films going in, and the films either completely so far away from not what I'm expecting, or it's just garbage, and I had high hopes for the film. So I'm just trying to go into films this year as blind as I can, and hopefully be pleasantly surprised. But yeah, I don't know if you wanted to carry on talking about the films I weren't too keen about in 2023 before going to the other ones, but
okay, well, we will know. Do you know what? There's just this toy going on.
You're flustered, aren't you, lad?
Just everything that could go wrong is going wrong.
Don't sweat it. Don't sweat it.
Oh my word. I'm really sorry, everyone. This is so unprofessional. Gotta wait for this little button to go off. That's just been played. Right. What the hell is going on? Right, that's it. I'll be back now.
Oh, he's done it again. Right, I might as well carry on. Another film I thought was dreadful throughout the year, and everyone will join me in hating this film. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
I'm back.
All right, mate. All right.
Oh my word, I'm really sorry. Right, sorry. Are you talking about your most disappointing movies of the year, are you?
Well, yeah, you kind of went missing. I thought you might want to talk about the better ones than
I'll take, mate. I will take over now. Don't worry. So, most disappointing, worst movies of the year. Here, do you say Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey? There, is that right?
Yeah, I mean, could you even call it a C film? It was just so bad, man. I mean, to take something that's so like beloved around the world and butcher it that bad is just shocking. I mean, the story was awful, special effects were awful, the costume design was awful. Not interested in the sequel that's coming out, and because of that, I'm also not into. I don't want to talk about 2024 too much because I know you'll tell me off, but yeah, I think you know what film's coming out that I'll mention.
Yeah, well,
but,
I was going to say you've got plenty more of them to look forward to now because we've got Mickey Mouse one, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2, and I think this is just going to be a common thing now, isn't it? Where
a lot of things coming up to the 100-year thing.
Yeah, and it's like they can do whatever they want. That's why we got like 3 Pinocchio films last year and stuff like that.
Yeah,
they're just going to do a horror twist on them all, aren't they? It's an easy book for them, isn't it? Really, and
I do think. Well, there's that saying, isn't he? Throw enough poo at the wall and some of it a stick. Eventually, one of them will turn out to be a cult kind of get a cult following. But until then, mate, I'm not holding that much hope.
Yeah, and we've even got a Bambi one coming. I don't know how they're going to work that one out. I think
a Bambi horror.
There's a Bambi horror coming out. The director was on Twitter saying, I'm the director and stuff. It's confirmed. It's going ahead and stuff like that. So
fair play. Fair play. I don't even know what to say to that.
Well, Tom's just put. Well, I Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey wasn't my worst movie of 2023, but it was down the bottom. Oh. I enjoyed it a little bit more than some people because I'm one of them people who likes them gnarly kills, that gritty type of horror movie, that the mean-spirited type of things. I like that sometimes when the killers are going a little bit too much and it's a bit too violent and stuff, but the story was terrible. Apart from the opening animation at the start, I thought that was kind of cool, and then it just went, I thought, oh, is this going to be surprising here? And then it just totally went off. But I didn't hate the movie. I've seen worse this year, but it was definitely down the lower end, I suppose. But just a quick one here. Tom's just watched The Exorcist Believer. We'll talk about it here now, but that's more of a drama now, really, wasn't it? Did you watch The Exorcist Believer, Tom? Because that was it's probably my biggest disappointment of 2023.
Right, I stand on an island. It weren't the worst. It's not in me best list, but I think I've recently got one of them, them Cineworld Unlimited cards where I can go as much as I want. And me and my girlfriend, we just kind of decided any horror that comes out between now and till whenever, we're just going to go and see every horror in the pictures that we can. And that was the first one we kind of come across. And I hadn't seen a horror in the cinema for a long time. So I don't know whether it was just I enjoyed that, whether it was just some of the jump scares got to me. I think I was expecting, because I didn't watch any trailers going into it, and I think I expected a lot more religious imagery and things like that going into it, and it wasn't that at all. And I actually didn't mind it. I mean, on rewatch, I might watch it and go, "Oh, that's terrible." But I'm well aware of Stand on an Island with my opinion on that film. But clearly, I just like bad films.
I don't. At the time, I didn't think it was a bad film, but now the more I think about it, the more it kind of, I think, I was a bit, I could give it 5 out of 10 on my review, but now I go back, I'll probably give it a bit lower, because I just think there was a man handling this movie that didn't understand the original that much, because it didn't feel like a legacy sequel whatsoever, apart from Chris McNeil coming back as, as Reagan's mother, and that she was only in pointless. She was only in it for 10 minutes at most. And what they do to her character is an insult to that character from the first film, in my opinion. She didn't even want to come back anyway. She only done it because they doubled the money and she could give it to this charity she's working with. So she obviously didn't want to be there. And the third act is absolutely laughable, in my opinion, just with all the different, all the different religions going into the room trying to sort it, because we can't just have Christianity, we've got all these different religions. And I was just like, oh, yeah. And then that priest who walked in at the end to save the day. And I know what Tom's saying, it's more of a drama, because I didn't find the movie scary whatsoever in any part of it. Did you find it creepy at all?
It was more, see, I think I like jump scares more than you do. And it's not, I mean, when they're done well, aren't they? But like, sometimes movies are slow and you think, oh, I wish something had happened. And there was a couple in there that just caught me off guard. I mean, you've played Texas Chainsaw Massacre with me.
A virgin on the mic.
Films don't scare me. Like, I don't get nightmares and things like that. But like in the moment, I don't have to go, oh, do you know what I mean? And I make noises and everything. And there's just a couple of things that got me during the film. But I don't know. I mean, The Exorcist isn't my favourite franchise anyway. I think the original's overrated.
It probably shouldn't have even been a franchise when you think about it. It should just been
no.
The Exorcist 3 isn't bad, but it's not unlike the first film, really.
Yeah, and then it's had like requels and sequels and or remakes, and it's just none of them have ever really landed, have they?
No. The second one's the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Well, I've seen your review. I haven't seen the film. I've seen the review on it, and it doesn't sound great. Like, doesn't even really sound like a horror.
But yeah, The Exorcist Believer is definitely down there for me. Any other disappointing ones, Don, or worst of the year?
Couple mates, Children of the Corn.
I didn't catch that one.
Did you know? It was basically just this little girl, and she was just controlling all the kids in the town, and murdering their own parents. But it felt lazy. The writing felt lazy, and it just wasn't great. Insidious, The Red Door. It was okay, but it just felt super generic. Again, we're just going back to the same Insidious sequel, the same, maybe not The Conjuring, because I hold The Conjuring in a bit higher regard. But there's the same haunted house horror films that we've been seeing for the last 10, 15 years that, they're easy to make. Well, not maybe not, but like you know, they're easy to put out, and you know they're going to make money. So I just think they do. The Outwaters, have you seen that one?
No, I've heard of it. Is that a found footage one in the desert or something?
Yeah, no, I like found footage. I think found footage done well is my favourite kind of horror.
Yeah, I'm with you there, man.
Feels like,
It's not my favourite type of horror, but when it's done well, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you kind of get right into the film, don't you? And it has that creepy factor. But it's basically these. I can't remember if they're Australian, to be honest, or American. But anyway, they go into the desert to make a music video, and there's these kind of parasite things in the desert that you hardly see, and it's just a lot of running around. It's like a Blair Witch Project, but worse, like really a lot worse. You know, just lots of screaming, running around in the dark with no real direction to the story. I didn't think that was poor. And probably Five Nights at Freddy's, I just don't think was great. Do you know the actor's name who was the main protagonist in it?
Yeah, Josh Hutcherson.
Josh Hutcherson, right? So I can't think off the top of my head now what he's been in, but he's been around since I was a kid. He was a child actor and all that.
In the Hunger Games, wasn't he?
Right. Okay. So more or less anything I've seen him in, he just grates on me. You know, the poor kid, it's not even his fault, I don't think. It's just something about him that does me head in. And it's just annoying to see him on screen.
I thought he was doing okay in the film. And then, you know, when it got to the third act where he had to go, oh, my sister's in danger and stuff. That film was just terrible. You know, when he had to show emotion and stuff. I was like, oh my God, this is like cringe acting. But I thought he'd done okay.
Fans of the game
love it.
Seem to really love it, yeah. And but I've never played the game. I mean, my younger nephews and all like that, they would have played it, and they'll know more about it than me. But yeah, and then the last one, which probably is controversial, I'll probably do stand on an island with it, is Knock at the Cabin.
Oh, that's in my top 10.
Yeah, I don't know it is. For me, it's just, I can't say his name, so I'm just going to call him M. Sham Night, right? So M. Sham Night film. Yeah, I can't say it. I'm not even going to try it because it's not fair on him. But it's hard because I liked seeing Batista in a drama type role. I liked the concept of the film, I think that's what it was. Again, high expectations going into it, and then it was just kind of like, is that it? Type of thing. I just expected more, I don't know, maybe a bit more violence, a bit more going for it, a bit more grit. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was boss seeing Rupert Grint back on the big screen type of thing.
I enjoyed this character. I would like to see him do more roles like that, to be honest.
Well, to be fair, he was the best character in the film, I thought, and it was a shame he wasn't in it longer. But I don't know. I don't know. But I probably should have expected that with Sham Night films. They're not like, even though you can call them horror. They lean into a couple of genres, don't they? And you know, you always get your twists. Yeah, which is great, and that's why
he does thrillers as well, doesn't he? And dark dramas.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I expected a bit more horror going into it than what we got, and that's why, as I say, some of these films aren't bad films, not bad films at all. It's just I had higher expectations before I watched them, and then they didn't quite turn out, or they just weren't as good as I thought they could have been. With the people attached to the films.
But a lot of people put the worst movies of the year on films that are disappointing because they go into the low budget ones expecting it to be bad, but when they're something like The Exorcist Believer that they really didn't like and they had a big budget and stuff, they tend to put them on the worst of the year list, the big like other YouTubers and stuff. So I know exactly what you're talking about. I think Knock at the Cabin was good. I really liked it. Like, I watched it and thought that was good, that, and then I couldn't stop thinking about it all night. Me and my wife were talking about it, and that enhanced the movie for me. But I do think this movie could have been way more memorable and benefited a lot more people if it had the twist at the end, because M. Night Shyamalan usually throws that in, and it throws so many people off guard, and it's always the talking point of the film. But it kind of just ended. But what I do like about Shyamalan, what he does, he done it in the movie Signs, is something will be happening in the world, but we see it from this one perspective.
One place.
It's just, it's just a cabin. In Signs, it's the farmhouse. Something big is happening, but you only see it from that one place. And I think that is a good way to make a movie. And it also...
it's a talent in itself, isn't it?
I mean, he must save movie studios a hell of a lot of budgets as well, because he's just telling a simple story, but on a grand. He's telling a grand story on a smaller scale, isn't he? But yeah, I actually like Knock at the Cabin. I do think it was a little bit rinse repeat. Like something will happen, and then they'll try and decide something, then something will happen to one of the characters, and then it's just the same thing 4 times. If you get me, you know, because if you see, I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but it's kind of a wash, rinse, repeat thing for about an hour there, isn't it? But yeah, any others, Tom, or is there any?
Not really. Well, there's not really that many. I don't think there was that many bad films, or the ones I seen anyway, because I used to go through a thing where I'd watch everything, and I mean everything. And last year I kind of took the approach of, you know what, I'm just gonna watch the things that look interesting to me, and because it got to the film where it got to the point where, I mean, I don't even do YouTube, but it just got to the point where it felt like a chore watching horrors and things like that, just to say and be like, oh, I've seen the latest one. And so last year I just kind of took a step back and I just kind of watched the ones that took an interest to me.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, mate, because in 2022, for some reason, I tried to watch everything that come out, and I watched 130 movies, something like that, from 2022. And that is not even as much as some people. Some people were in the 200s, 190s or whatever. And you know what, man? Halfway through the year, I was like, why am I doing this? I feel like I've got to do it now for the rest of the year, but why am I watching things like the latest Netflix film that looks terrible? Like, there was a few of them high school ones that came out, and I'm just like, I've got no interest in this. Why am I watching it? So this year, I just watched movies that I actually had my eye on and wanted to see, and I still watch 90 films, to be honest, but these there was no way I was watching films that I had no interest in. There's one that's just come on Netflix the other day called Lift with Kevin Hart in, and I'm not going to watch it because I know it's going to be plain badly average, and I'm just
Kevin Hart film.
I don't care, you know what I mean? I'm not going to watch it. So if there's some I've got a moderate interest in, I'll watch them, but I just know that things like that I'm just going to stay away from now on. I've got so many older films in my room that I need to get through as well. So before we do get into the better ones, Tom, there's just a couple of comments here from Tom. I remember The Strangers Pray at Night had a good swimming pool scene. Someone actually put this up on Twitter today, or X, should I call it. I've never actually seen this film. I've seen the first one. I've never seen Pray at Night. I've heard it's a really good sequel, isn't it?
Yeah, do you know what? It doesn't take itself as... It's strange because it doesn't take itself as seriously as the first film, but there's more going on, if that makes sense. And it just feels like more of a narrative, even though these people are faceless and we don't know much about them. And they basically just terrorize this family who, if I remember rightly, they kind of go to the nana, the granddad's kind of trailer park place. And
it's in a trailer park, isn't it?
I think so, yeah, and it just kind of goes off from there. But the swimming pool scene. I don't want to ruin anything for anyone who hasn't.
Okay,
I suppose
don't let me know.
It's an older film, isn't it? So I don't know, but yeah.
I'm gonna actually watch this year because I know we've got a trilogy coming out, which we'll speak about in a bit. But I'm looking forward to checking this one out because I've heard nothing but great things about Strangers Pray at Night. So. Another good swimming pool scene was It Follows at the end. Was it Follows where I'm sure
I've seen It Follows, and I'm pretty sure I've seen it 2 or 3 times, but I can't really remember much about it apart from like the beginning scene. Because it just sticks in my head.
Got They Follow on the way soon as well, haven't we?
Pardon?
We've got They Follow on the way soon, a sequel.
Oh, good, but
I think that might be next year.
Is it right? The problem with films like that is some of them are so good that you don't want them to have sequels, and I don't know if It Follows lands in that category for me.
Yeah. I think there'll be one I'm going to speak about in a bit that is exactly what you're saying, so I'll get to that when I sting you. So X was a great surprise, really liked what they did with the story. The series overall was getting repetitive, but this took it in a good new direction. Yeah, I totally agree with that, Tom. I really liked the first hour of building the story instead of just getting thrown in straight into these traps. And what I liked about watching it is you kind of know the traps are coming anyway. So that worked for me, really. I went into that film as well saying, because I'd heard things like you get on John Kramer's side, and I was like, there's no way I'm getting on this guy's side. He's a murderous arsehole, no chance. And in the end, I was just like, oh my God, John Kramer is God. So, there's a certain character who I really wanted to get the worst death imaginable in that movie. So
who would
really
have thought John Kramer was good with kids?
I know. Yeah, that ending was a bit mad, wasn't it? So Tom says, have you seen Little Shop of Horrors, the director's cut? Crazy ending, but made the film so much better. I haven't seen this one, Tom. I wanted to pick it up on premium. I really did. But have you seen this one, Tom?
I haven't, mate. I haven't.
No.
I know it's got a bit of a cult following, but yeah, I've never seen it.
I've even got one of the little mini pop vinyls as well. So of it, but I still haven't seen it. And with you on Knocking the Cabin, terrible. Oh, he's with you, Tom. 2 Toms there, taking sides. Felt like it was filmed with the camera fully on zoom. Yeah, there's a few close-up shots of Dave Bautista, I remember, in that one. And the other characters as well. Leave the World Behind is similar to what you just described there, being a bad event but only shown one place. Yeah, I want to check this one out on Netflix. Have you seen it, Tom?
I haven't, mate. I'm sorry.
No.
I do apologize.
Came out at the end of last year, didn't it?
Yeah.
But
is it like No One Will Save You? Is it that kind of vibe? Is it, or I don't know much about it, to be honest.
I'm not sure. I've just heard a lot of people praising it and a lot of people being disappointed with the ending. But some people say they like the ending as well. But it is on my watch list, that one, Tom. So hopefully I'll get to that soon, mate. But yeah, basically we'll just get into it. We want to get into the news segment soon, but we'll just go over a couple of your favourite ones, Tom. I've done my top 10 horror movies on this channel, so if you just, I'll name a couple in a minute, but if you just want to go over like some of the best ones you've seen last year, if you can think of any.
Yeah, I mean, I've wrote a couple down. I wrote 10 down. Obviously, we won't have the time to go through them all in detail, but in no particular order, mate. Evil Dead Rise. That is my favourite horror franchise. End of story.
Is it? Yeah.
It's gory. It's got boss-like lore behind it. It's mental. It's non-stop from start to finish. Sometimes I just want a bit of that in my horror film. Sometimes they're too slow and take ages to get going. And you know, we even in this one without as similar to the 2013 one as well. I think that's the best horror this century so far. Even in this one, we still got a iconic chainsaw scene, which I was made up about. I don't know the actress's name, but she played the main antagonist when the Deadites kind of got hold of her.
Alicia Sutherland, I think her name is.
Alicia, yeah, I thought she was brilliant. The mummies with the maggots now line was I just thought that was brilliant. I just thought that was a roller coaster to be reckoned with. I thought that
on 4K. I'm dying to rewatch it because I loved it at the cinema, so I'm gonna have to rewatch that soon. Yeah,
and I loved the cheese great to see.
Yeah. I remember everyone talking about that on the trailer, weren't they? But I love the end as well, where it went full Evil Dead with the chainsaws and the blood on her face, and it's got that camera zoom where she's running around, but you can just see her face. Carried all that Evil Dead theme into it, didn't it?
Yeah, great.
Yeah. Any others?
Yeah, mate, Hell House Origins, Carmichael Manor. Super surprised because truthfully, mate, I didn't know it was coming out. Let the ball slip on that one, but it was a pleasant surprise at the same time. I had it on rewatch a couple of weeks ago with my girlfriend, and I fell asleep. Nothing to do with the film. It was just I was knackered. I fell asleep, and my girlfriend woke up and went, "You're gonna have to watch the end of that film with me." I had to turn it off. I was too scared, and I was like, in a weird way, I was proud. I was like, "I'm so happy that's happened to you because I wanted that to happen to you." The first time I watched Hell House, the original, it just gave me such a creep factor, and it did it without the jump scares, and I loved that. It was just suspense all the way through. And this one, I'd say it's the best one. The only thing I'd say with the Hell House films, I wish they'd stop telling us the fate of the protagonists before we see it all.
Yeah, I know.
Type of thing. It's a bit annoying, but overall, mate, it was brilliant. I just. If there's one thing I'd change about the film is I'd like to see more of the clowns. I want to see, because they're sinister, mate. Really evil.
I was just glad the film came along and scared me, because the last film that done that was Hell House. But
Mate, literally the same,
I'm not usually scared with films, man. But I was terrified watching that. Again, like we went back to found footage before. This is effective found footage. This is the type that works. It's not cheap. It's a well-made found footage film, isn't it? And that's Stephen Cognetti, I think it is. He's made them all, hasn't he? And I was kind of like, oh, is he coming back? Because I really didn't like the second one. I haven't seen the third there. It was terrible, but I will watch it at some point. But I'm glad he's brought it back a little bit now. But yeah,
it just kind of ties things up, the third one, but it's not. It's not the best one.
Well, that's what I didn't like about the second one. I think he gave us too much detail about the history of the house, and that became not scary anymore to me. Towards the end of the film, because we just knew too much.
Yeah, the third one is kind of. I don't want to ruin it for you because you're obviously gonna watch it at some point. But it's kind of, we find out what kind of, you get a conclusion for the original cast, if that makes sense. I don't want to go too much into it, but. Okay. Yeah, we kind of get a conclusion for the original cast of the first one. But the fourth one, mate, was absolutely fantastic. And I don't know whether I want another Hell House film, but I'd definitely like to see that Stephen Cognetti do something bigger budget. I wouldn't even say bigger budget, because sometimes I think the smaller budgets force directors to be creative. And that's the best thing that the film's got going for it. But I'd like to see him do a film that gets a lot more coverage and critical reception, because among the horror community he's got it, but amongst the wider public who wouldn't have a clue where Hell House was, they just don't know who he is, I suppose. But I think he deserves it at this point.
Yeah, he put on Twitter the other day, I'd love this gig or something about a film coming up. I can't remember the film, but then he went, oh well, back to writing the next Hell House. So
yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not annoyed at that. We'll get on with it, but yeah, they are good.
Yeah, I think he's trying to get himself more out there, but someone will probably take a chance on him at some point, I imagine. Yeah. So if anyone's watching and you haven't seen the Hell House movies, definitely give them a go. Well, the first and this Origins anyway, for sure. Anything else there, Tom? Anything else you wrote down?
You've got the big slash that come out earlier in the year, which is Scream 6.
Yeah.
So I'll just dote on that a little bit, because by now everyone spoke about it, and an even better slasher came out towards the end of the year, which caught me by surprise completely. Scream 6. I liked Scream 5. I enjoyed this new trilogy. I know the 7th one's up in the air at the moment, but Scream 5, I figured out the killer before the end, and it bugged me, because I've never been able to do that with a Scream film. And the 6th one, I tried my hardest to ruin it for myself again, like an idiot, but I didn't get it. Even if the killer reveal was a bit, so that was good. And the kills are always creative. Yeah, I mean, and they tried something new at the beginning of the film, which did pay off. But I think you actually mentioned this yourself. I'd like to see a longer thing where we know who the killer is, but everyone else doesn't.
I was hoping for that before that film even come out. That was I put the idea out there, and then
was you aware of that beginning scene, or?
Yeah, well, when I seen the beginning scene, I was like, oh my god, they're gonna do it, and then they didn't. He kind of tested it, didn't he, and just went a different way. But I don't know if it would actually work for the whole movie now after seeing that opening scene, because part of loving Scream is finding out the killer, I suppose. But Scream 6, I thought it was my favourite sequel until the last 30 minutes, but everything else was spot on. I just thought the reveal was a bit comedic and animated and stuff. So.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I thought the shotgun scene was iconic.
Yeah, in the store.
Yeah, can't blame that. And then Thanksgiving. Yeah, I went to see Thanksgiving in the cinema a couple of weeks ago. And that one I did kind of, because I was like, and ahhing, did I really want to go and see it? Is it going to be another April Fool's Day? Is it going to be one of those types of films? And was I wrong, man? Some of the kills in it were some of the best slasher kills I think I've seen. Yeah, it was brilliant. The Black Friday scene at the beginning was just like, oh my God, imagine being in that supermarket. That would have been horrible.
Yeah. But, the people getting put in ovens and everything.
Yeah, but don't get me wrong. I mean, that's what I mean. If this weren't even the most horrific kill, it's become a fear of mine now. Where I don't think I ever want to get on a trampoline ever again.
Yeah, that's a good kill. But yeah, I was massively surprised by Thanksgiving. I loved how comedic it was, but then you suddenly, you're taken aback by it because it was quite a funny film, and then the gore just hits, it takes you back a little bit. But yeah, I really love Thanksgiving. By the way,
I like
Tom,
the
I think
fact
we're going to be in top 10 here. The four of them are that you mentioned are in my top 10.
Yeah, that's what I mean. None of mine are massive surprises, really. We've got Cobweb after that.
That's in mine
Cobweb
as
was
well.
that's what I mean. There's no surprises. I mean, Cobweb was a film that I think I found out about literally not long before it come out, so it was good to kind of see. It was different to any type of horror that I'd seen before. I thought it was going to be like a generic, there's a ghost speaking to a kid in the walls type of thing, but it turned out to be something completely different. Had serious people under the stairs vibes.
That's the vibe I got from it, but with its own thing.
Its own thing. I mean, a lot of people probably did see the twist halfway through the film or going into the third act, but I didn't see it coming, and I was like, oh my god, and that elevated the film for me. I thought would you call it an entity? I wouldn't even call it an entity because it's a person, isn't it? But like the bad guy, I thought she was great. I'd love to get a sequel, maybe not even a sequel. I'd love for her to get her own standalone kind of film where I just thought she was brilliant. I'd like to see more of her.
I think you had one of the best scenes in horror in the year as well, where the teacher goes to the house and the parents are just really on edge, and it's just there's a lot of build of tension there, isn't he? Like, oh, what's going to happen here? I really like Cobweb, but it was. I mean, when you say there's no surprises on the list, it's not a surprise because a lot of people rate it, but it was a surprise for me at the time because I didn't expect it to be that good. I just thought this was going to be another movie. And in America, that came out the same weekend as Barbenheimer, so no one was talking about it in America. We got it in September, didn't we? But a lot of people were saying that's the biggest surprise for the year for them because it came out on that weekend. So great film, Cobweb. Definitely recommend that.
Another one, mate. Everyone. It come out towards the latter end of the year, I think. I don't know if I was just late to it or what, but When Evil Lurks.
Yeah, that was on my list as well.
I don't think I've ever seen a horror like it. It just kind of. I mean, there's a scene with a dog and a kid, and I don't know about yourself, George, but since I've become a dad, any horror film and something happens to a kid, it seems to hit home more, and it's just like it shook me a bit. I'm
totally the same, mate. Totally get what you're saying.
It was violence, but it was a different kind of story. I mean, I think lately in the last couple of years, these foreign horrors, they're coming up in the world. I mean, I don't know whether they've always just been there and I've always been too ignorant to kind of go and watch them, but I've been a bit more open-minded in the recent years. And some of them are brilliant, mate. And long may it continue. Like, I'm hoping for a few more this year.
It's like it's a subgenre that we get every 2 minutes with the demonic possession, but this one done it totally different. It took that genre and just totally done its own thing with it, didn't it? Like,
re-energized it, didn't it?
The possession's like sort of a virus, isn't it? Really, in this one. It was a great film. I really want to watch that one again because I watched it and I really liked it, but I want to go back to it at some point. So.
There was a lot of lore in it though, which I thought was
exactly.
I kept up with it, but like it was just like I don't know. I can't think of the top of my head now, but things had happened in the film, and I was like, but I thought you couldn't do that. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. So I like to go back and make sure all that fits again. You know what I mean? All them rules don't have to overlap and stuff.
Yeah. But if you haven't, just to anyone watching, if you haven't seen it, go and watch it because it's just absolutely mental from start to finish. And the protagonist, he's almost like he's a bit of a knob, isn't he? But like you can't help but feel sorry for him at the same time. And the worst of the worst things just keep happening to him. And honestly, it's a brilliant horror. Go and watch it if you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And then the last one I've probably got on my list there is that I don't think would have been in yours because a lot of people don't seem to like this, but I just found it different and it's a bit artsy, if anything, and that was Skinamarink.
I've heard that this is one you either love or hate, isn't it? I haven't seen this one yet, though.
It was more. So I was reading up on it, and basically someone commented on it saying, "Look, watch it in the darkest room possible, and watch it with headphones in, because the telly, there's certain sounds in it, audio doesn't pick up. Not that your telly wouldn't pick it up, but like with the headphones, you know, you hear things a bit more clearer, don't you? And similar to Hell House, but in a different way, you get that creep factor all the way through the film. And
I'll be sure to watch it with my headphones on then if I get to it.
And you know, if you're a bit thingy about kids, because we're talking about two kids that are, I think they're about 4 and 6, and they're trapped in this house with this entity. And towards the film, you walk away feeling a bit like, oh, like it's one of them films where if you've seen a Serbian movie, it stays with you. You're thinking about it for weeks afterwards. And I think I might have even messaged you after I watched this, saying, I don't know, have you seen it? But it was.
I think you spoke on the last live stream you done. You were telling me how much you liked it. I think.
Yeah, it just. I don't even. That's what I'm saying, though, George. I don't even know if I liked it. It was just kind of, it stuck with me, and I think that's what horror should be at times. You know, it should push boundaries. It was different. I mean, don't get me wrong. There is scenes where, you know, you might be staring at a bit of Lego on the floor for a bit too long. Do you know what I mean? And things like that. But it's supposed to be, the way it's filmed, it's supposed to be as if a 4-year-old's got a camera. So it's, you know, there is times like that. But it just existential dread throughout the entire film. And it caught me attention at a big rate. Like,
I have to check it out. Variety give it the. Variety magazine, they give it #1 horror of the year, and I've seen YouTubers put it on bottom.
It's one of them. It's not a popcorn flick. You've got to be in the mood to watch it. But if you just take it for what it is, on your own. If you sat there and watched it with your bear, mate, you just watch and go, this is shit, what am I watching? But if you're right into horror and you're just willing to sit there with your face close to the screen with your headphones in, it's in the dark. It's sad, like, but it's worth the go.
Yeah, so I might actually do that now. Now you've said it's better with your headphones on and stuff. I weren't really wanting to check it out, but now I'm a bit like, oh, maybe that'll be a different experience. So one day when she's out, I might do. Yeah. So is that everything for your list, Tom? Yeah.
We'll just talk to me, but I feel like every YouTuber kind of spoke about it.
Talk to me, Steve.
I kind of realised that Australian horror is brilliant.
I agree. Well, for the ones I've seen anyway.
Almost every Australian horror film I've watched, I've really liked. They're not scared to push things. But this one was more, I wouldn't say push things, but it just went in a different direction. It was kind of a possession. Yeah, well, it is a possession film, but like, it's done in a different way.
It's kind of like, well, it's not like When Evil Lurks, but it takes that genre and does its own thing with it, I think.
Yeah. I mean,
I haven't got kids just screaming on a bed, sitting up and down, shouting "fuck you" and all that. You know, it's something different, I think.
Well, I don't know whether maybe it's an ongoing theme at the moment, or people in Hollywood are just kind of robbing ideas off each other. But there's a film that we're going to talk about for 2024 that's coming out that's kind of got a similar vibe, just going off the trailer. But I think you know what it is.
Yeah. Well, we've got Tom here saying, have you heard of the new film Abigail with Melissa Barrera, same directors as Scream 5 and 6 2? Yeah, Tom, I'm just going to talk about this one very, very shortly, mate, because we're going to get into the news segment in just a minute. Scottish Geek Guy, howdy, folks. Cheers, mate. Thanks for coming along.
You're going, mate. You're all right.
Tom 180, The Loved Ones 2009 is an Australian one. Get it watched, Jordan. Yeah, I've heard so many good things about this one. Have you seen that one, Tom?
I think I have. You know, is this The Prom?
I think it's something to do with the prom, yeah. And
mate,
tied up or something.
Watch it, lad. It's mental. Honest to God, it's a I wouldn't even call it a teen kind of horror, but like basically it's this lad. I think if I can remember rightly, I watched it ages ago. You know, he takes this girl to the prom, and I think he stands her up. Something like that. And
it's something to do with their parents tie her up or something.
Basically, she's not happy about it. She's a bit of a lunatic, and her dad's not too far off either. And they kind of kidnap the kid, and it just goes from there. But yeah, it's brilliant, mate. The Australians, they know what they're doing. Like, it is good. It is good.
Tom says that's it. Yeah. So yeah. Before we're going to get into the news segment now, everyone, but I'm just going to say one film that I do recommend, Tom. I don't know if you've seen it, but this was my #1 of the year. Have you seen Infinity Pool?
Oh, yeah. I just don't know whether. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know on your channel you talk about films that dip in and out of genres.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I don't know if I myself put it as horror. But fantastic film, bit strange. The concept of its boss, it looks at like its boss are looking at like how the rich of society maybe, you know, views things and how much they treat people as the playthings. And Mia Goth, who just in the last couple of years seems to have stole the show in everything she seems to be in. And which Skarsgård brother is it? It's the older one.
The one who's in the Northman, isn't it?
Yeah, well,
Alexander.
He kind of gives into his inhibitions, doesn't he? And you know, things go south for him in the end. And it was a brilliant film, like brilliant film.
I loved it.
I forgot about that. I should have put that on my list.
No, it's fine, mate. If you don't think it's full horror, it's fine. I do think it's sci-fi horror myself. It's more sci-fi, but there's some brutal stuff in there. I thought I really enjoyed it. I was just like that after it. Brandon Cronenberg is someone I want to kind of check out now. I know he's made a film called Possessor, which I really want to watch now after watching this.
Right, okay.
Have you seen that one?
I haven't, mate. No, I haven't.
Okay. Anyway, that's our 2023 segment out the way, guys. So we're just going to get into a bit of movie news now. That the last week or two has come out on over Twitter and stuff like that. There's been quite a bit of it, and that's one of the main reasons I wanted to do this live stream. But I was going to start with 28 Days Later, but we'll get to that in a minute because Tom was asking about the Abigail trailer. Now, I just watched this for the first time today, and I know you said to me, Tom, you like the look of this film. I was watching this trailer and went, yeah, day one, this one looks for me. It's like kind of like about a ballerina, this young girl. She gets kidnapped, and she's the daughter of a rich gangster by the look of it.
I think yeah, kingpin type.
Yeah, and then they don't realize that she's like this vampire, and she's starting to take them out all by one by doing all these ballerina moves and stuff like that as well. I thought this looked really, really good, Tom. What did you think?
Well, I know that this film has been getting touted for a while, but not with the name Abigail. It's just been kind of like the untitled project of the directors of, I forget what they call themselves, but it's the two brothers, isn't it?
I think are they something like, sounds like a radio silence, is it?
The Radio Silence brothers or whatever it is. And then it's got some boss people attached to it. It's got the girl from Freaky. Sorry, I can't think of her name.
Yeah, and then Catherine Newton.
Yeah, Melissa Barrera, who I think's in a couple of horror films this year. And Giancarlo Esposito, if I haven't butchered that. Who everyone knows from Breaking Bad.
Yeah, Breaking Bad.
Guy. Yeah. But I haven't even seen the film yet, Tom, and I already starting a petition for Abigail versus Megan. That needs to happen. But on a serious note, for me, I'm getting serious Renfield vibes I know it's a horror. It seems like a horror comedy with like a bit more of a serious tone. Which, again, this is one of them films, George, where I've watched the trailer and I've already going into it knowing I'm going to like it, but I don't want to set myself up for a fail. But from what I can tell of the trailer, it's gory. It's it's got decent actors in it, and let the carnage commence. Like.
Yeah, I kind of felt like it was a bit of Ready or Not vibe where it's against everyone else, but they did actually make.
It's the same directors, yeah.
So I get exactly what you're saying there. It's like Renfield, but with a dark more side to it. It's not too comedic, but it looks like there's a few little one-liners here and there, doesn't it? That just throw that little bit of comedy in. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I feel like it's got these. It's going to be like Don't Breathe as well, where these people are antagonists, but in the end, are we going to be on their side because this girl is like a little asshole vampire running around? So, in that film, obviously, the guy who lives in the house is a bad man, isn't he? Really? So it looks like it's the same type of storyline, a little bit there. But I'm looking forward to this one. I think it could be
definitely
a big hit for the year. Hopefully, going by that trailer.
When's it due to?
I think it's April 19th. I think April anyway.
Oh, that's good. So we haven't got to wait that long, yeah.
Well, that's a US release. We could get it in bloody April next year, no.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I looked on IMDb before. It's April 19th for US and a few other countries, but we haven't got a release date yet. So hopefully we will just get it that day as well. So yeah, I like it when it's a new IP as well. But like it's not like Abigail 7 or it's the first one. It's something new, something we haven't really got before, isn't it? So I'm really looking forward to that one. Anything else to say about Abigail, Tom?
It's hard because I don't really know too much about it apart from what we've said, really. But what I will say
Only
is,
off the trailer, can't we?
Yeah, I can only go off the trailer, and from what I've seen, I think it's going to be this year's Renfield, but possibly better. I don't know. All I know is it's right up there on the anticipated list, and I can't wait to see it. Like,
okay, so the big news that everyone was freaking out about more than anything this week on Twitter, from what I seen, was 28 years later. So we got 28 days later, obviously, which does seem about 28 years ago now. I know it's not that long, but it's getting there. 28 weeks, 28 months. What was it? 28 weeks later.
28 days, 28 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, we had that one, and obviously this one is meant to be coming 28 years later, but it might be a trilogy, depending on how good the first film is. And that just seems to me that this one should make the trilogy up. I mean, I don't know anything about the movie, how it's going to play out, but I just feel like 28 days, weeks, and years just sounds good as a trilogy on its own, but this one might spawn a trilogy, so I don't know how I feel about that one. We've got Alex Garland writing this, who wrote the first one, and Danny Boyle coming back to direct. Are you a fan of these films, Tom? Or?
Yeah, I mean, what's not to like about these? I mean, I think I said it on the last one. British, love it. Although I do expect this one to be set more internationally, because if you remember, 28 weeks later, I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but it's a zombie film. It's the end of the world, isn't it? We had the horde of zombies, or infected humans, as they were. They weren't quite zombies, were they? Sprinting towards the Eiffel Tower, weren't they? So I expect more of a international kind of scale, bigger budget, all that type of stuff.
I'm glad you said that, Tom, because I can only really remember the first one. It's weeks later that I was struggling to remember.
Yeah.
I've seen the first one quite a few times.
That's it. I don't expect any returning cast.
I think there was rumours that Cillian Murphy might be coming back, but I don't know if it'll just be a cameo or whatever. It's not really confirmed, but I just heard rumours about it. You want to pick that thing up, Tom? Might be a drop to go ahead, mate.
That's it, right it up. Don't get me, Vic. So, you know, and the thing is with the 28 films is that we got the introduction of the fast zombie, didn't we? The kind of zombie horde that we all kind of love now. Yes, guys, it was not World War Z that introduced that. And I just think he re-energized, Danny Boyle, he kind of just re-energized the zombie subgenre. And I think it's been a while now since The Walking Dead, or since everyone kind of stopped watching The Walking Dead in the later seasons. And I think it's time now to kind of bring zombies back and kind of see where we go with it, because it did get to a point where I think it was like in the I don't even know what you call the decade, in the mid-teens of the century, where it just started to feel tired. But yeah, I'm ready for another one, and we'll see where we go with it.
Yeah, that's what I was actually going to say, leading up to this, that I hope, can they sort of reinvent the zombie a little bit here? Like, I mean, I think there was a couple of films in the 80s that had running zombies, but this is the one where it really kind of went for it, weren't it? And I'm just thinking, are they going to do something else with the zombie this time? Like, we've had so many films with slow zombies, and now we've had so many with fast zombies. Is there going to be something else? Because maybe these zombies have been around for 28 years. They've mutated into something else. Like, kind of like, you watched Last of Us, haven't you?
Yeah. No, I haven't.
Haven't you? Well,
I've played the games. I've never seen the show.
Right, okay. We've seen the games then, haven't you? Where the zombies that are around for that long, they just come into these big bloated things, don't they? And
well, that's it. At the end of the day, it's a virus, and viruses mutate and change all the time, and they grow stronger. That's the point of a virus, isn't it? Maybe we could get a bit more of a Last of Us vibe going, where we have these super strong ones, or I don't know, but as I say, it's been a while since we've had a pretty decent zombie film, and especially on like the big screen as well. So I'm all for it. I'm ready to go with the zombies again, and hopefully make it a good film.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of really wanting to go back and watch them too now, just because of this news. But yeah, so I think this will be a big hit when it comes out, especially with all the news freaking out on Twitter and stuff. And maybe they can do some good visual look at it, like they did with London. Maybe they can do something there. I don't know what, but maybe something along them lines, kind of recapture that somewhere else or whatever. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wrote down the Omen teaser trailer. Obviously, we only got like a 1 minute segment of this, and Tom's pulling his face there. Am I going to say that you haven't seen the Omen? Is that what it is?
I've seen the Omen.
Oh, right.
And you know, you've got the iconic scene at the very beginning where I think it's the nanny says, Damien, look at me, this is for you, and jumps off the thing. Yeah. But going back to what I said before, I like me horror. I don't mind being patient with films, but some films are just so slow. And the Omen trilogy is there for me. I thought the second one was quite good with the army,
like the
army school thing. Yeah, I thought that was quite good. But and do you know what, to be honest with you as well, mate, I think I'm done with prequels now.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Tom,
sorry, mate, go on.
I'm just gonna click this on. That's I'll be like what 5 seconds.
Go on, mate.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, mate. I'm back now. I'm just like freezing to death here. I just have to put the heating on for a bit. So yeah, I know what you mean. Kind of done with prequels and stuff.
And I just think
answers to things that we already know, sort of, don't they?
Yeah, and I just think that like I don't even know what kind of subgenre you call it, like the nun subgenre. I don't mean literally the film The Nun. I just mean in general, like religious horror is done to death. They're never really scary. Yeah,
I feel like sometimes they're really boring locations as well, like the church or the nunnery, or I don't know, they just don't kind of work for me. But I think this trailer did look interesting, the way it was all in reverse and stuff. And I was just expecting a typical generic looking film, but I think this one, I've got a feeling it's going to be a little bit of a hit. I don't know why. I just think there was something clever about that trailer. The way it was all in reverse, didn't show you too much. I know it was more of a teaser and stuff, and we'll probably get a proper trailer soon. I could totally change my mind on that. I don't know, but I love the original Omen. I think it's one of the best horror movies ever made. I've seen it a few times. I like the trilogy, like you said. The second one's pretty good. Third one's not bad.
The remake wasn't bad.
I haven't seen the remake or the Awakening.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Terrible. Yeah.
But if you were to ask me now on the 16th of January, without knowing much else apart from the teaser trailer, I think it's going to flop.
Right, fair enough, mate. Fair enough. We'll see, won't we? But I'm kind of looking forward to this. Now, I wasn't really looking forward to it that much at all. But I seen that and thought, and it's got a great British cast in there. It's got the guy off The Office in. It's got Bill Nighy in, and there's someone else I can't quite remember. But the decent actors, you know what I mean. They can do a job in everything I've seen them in. So hopefully this one's pretty good. But then again, it could just be another Exorcist believer. Not for you, Tom, but for me. But yeah, The Omen, I think it looks okay. By the way, guys, if you're watching and you want to put some comments on this in the chat, we'll put them on the screen and we'll answer them as best as we can. Just go for it. So we got a trailer for a film called No Way Up. I don't know if you watched this one, Tom. But
when we were talking about doing this.
Yeah, it's the movie where there's a plane crash, I think goes into the ocean, and it's like, you know, when you put a cup in water downwards, but there's like air in there. I think that's what happens in the plane. So they're on the plane, aren't they? And it's underwater, basically.
Airlock,
airlock, sorry, that's it. And there's sharks circling the plane, and it's got Cole Meany in there, who I quite like, because I think he was in Con Air. Yeah. So I think this looks pretty fun, to be honest.
Well, that's it, mate. Yeah. I don't think we've had a great shark. Now, just to put a disclaimer in there, that is my biggest fear. Honestly, you could say, Tom, you could cure world hunger if you get in that cage and go down with great whites, and I wouldn't do it. Honest to God, it's just that is my biggest fear. My knees are buckled. There'd be nothing together. I wet myself the lot. That is all time my biggest fear. But we haven't had a great shark film, in my opinion, since Jaws. We haven't. I think, I rewatched it. Funny enough, I rewatched the Deep Blue Sea about a year ago, and I thought, wow, I don't remember it looking this bad. Do you remember it with like LL Cool J and?
Yeah, I watched it years ago and loved it, and I watched it about 2 years ago with my wife and thought, it's a good movie. I don't think it's as good as I remember, but it's still okay. But yeah, the CGI is bad, yeah.
And that's it. Well, that's what I was going to say. And then the trailer to this, the sharks look menacing. They really look terrifying. The CGI doesn't look that bad. But to be honest, tell a lie, that's understanding. I think it looks good. I'm excited for this. I believe the director's called Claudio Farr. Now, I don't know much about him, but it seems to be his first like big budget movie that he's kind of taken on. I think before that he was kind of doing like I don't know if you've ever seen like the sniper movies and things like that, just kind of lower budget, be more actiony flicks. And this is kind of his first hurrah into like big cinema. So we'll see how it goes, mate. I am really looking forward to it. Like the concept of it is terrifying. To be in that situation is just horrible, and it's a situation that could happen. And that's you've said it yourself plenty of times when things can happen in real life. I know it's far fetched, but planes do go down from time to time, and going in the sea, and that'd be terrifying. Terrifying.
I think it's taken my two biggest fears, flying in the sea, putting them together there. I hate flying, man, and I don't really like the sea either. Like, I'm wary of jumping off them boats on holidays and stuff like that. But yeah, I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I do. It's coming to VOD and cinema as well, isn't it? So you can take your pick there. I just hope we get it the same date, which is meant to be the 14th of February or something like that. There was something else. I'm wondering how they're going to get out this situation as well, because it just seems impossible. It's like that movie Fall, where they're on the tower, but underwater, basically, the total opposite, if you get me. And I just don't know how they're going to get out of it. It's going to be interesting to see, I suppose. But I don't want to get my hopes up too much, because there's a film last year that came out called The Black Demon, which was about a megalodon shark. Did you watch that one, Tom?
I did, yeah. As you say, mate, I don't think there's been a great shark film since Jaws.
I thought that had a really good trailer, that one, and then I watched it and was like, oh, the shark was in it for a couple of minutes. There was like 3 scenes in the entire film with the shark, and it was just not a very good film at all. There's bad acting and stuff, so let's hope it doesn't disappoint. We got King Gordon here, spooky. Oh yeah, with the plane and the ocean there. Yeah, spot on, mate. That's it. Not a great combination for me personally. Thanks for coming along, mate. What's your favourite creature features? You got any of them, Tom? Favourite creature features? Ooh.
Does it count?
Which, sorry?
Does it count?
I suppose.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like it, but the Wolfman, the most recent one that came out about 10 years ago.
2012.
Yeah, that was good. The American Werewolf in London is just an absolute classic, perfect film. That's my favourite, definitely. I think about it now, that's a perfect film. Yeah,
I think it's got everything there. It's quite a scary film as well, I think, at times, especially them dream sequences and stuff. My mind's gone totally blank here. I've the type in best creature features, but some of them you named it. Yeah, it probably can't count, can it? I'm just trying to think of films where there's actually a big monster on screen, though. And Jaws, is that a creature feature?
No.
Anaconda, I watched that not long ago.
That's just classed for Ice Cube. Ice Cube's worth a watch. Yeah, if it was just a proper mismatch of a cast, if I remember rightly, I had like Ice Cube and Owen Wilson, and
it's actually got some really good casting. But it is a mismatch, I suppose. John Voight's the best character in it.
John Voight's in it, and J-Lo.
Yeah, his acting is awful, but you can't take your eyes off him. Some creature features, man. It's a hard one.
I filmed came out a couple of years ago called, I don't know if you've seen it, called The Ritual. and it's about like three lads who go on like they go on like a bit of a, if it's the film I'm thinking of, if I've got the name right, it's like a bit of a stag do, and they go on like a, you know, they go on like a trek through like the woods in Norway, I think it is, or somewhere like that, and they kind of get lost, and there's like an old Norse godly creature type of thing that's kind of like hunting them down. But that's pretty good. That's a good film if you haven't seen that. The Ritual. I think it's called The Ritual.
Hang on, is that the one from 2019?
See, I don't know. I've got myself confused now. The guy from Green Street's in it. One of the lads from Green Street's in it. Anyway.
It's a British one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've seen it. Yeah, and you don't see anything until like the last act. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
I've seen it. Yeah, mate. Sorry, I have. I was thinking of a different film there, but I have seen that one. It was on Netflix a while ago.
I'm not too sure. I remember seeing it when it not long come out, and I just never ever went back to it. But I remember watching it and it being a bad movie.
Yeah. Alien. You don't like Alien, do you?
It's just no, I don't. I'm a Predator guy. Let's just leave it at that, I suppose.
Got critters and gremlins and stuff. You know what, mate? I don't think this is a full horror movie, but I watched Godzilla -1 the other week, and that is just absolutely 10 out of 10. Well, I'd say it's a 9.5 out of 10 because there was one little thing that irked me in the third act, but brilliant film. Have you seen it?
Sorry, mate, what's the name of the film? The audio went a bit funny. I heard everything else about the name of the film.
Godzilla -1.
I haven't seen it yet. I was never really that into Godzilla until the newer trilogy, franchise kind of came out. It is definitely something I'm gonna check out. I probably would have went to see it, but I know for a fact my girlfriend would not have sat through a Japanese film. Like, but yeah, I'll probably watch that when I'm on my own.
It shows Hollywood how to do it, mate. It was just like, wow, this is a film I've been wanting for years off. In a blockbuster I've wanted for years. Everything about it was spot on. So, Meg 2 is fun. Cheers. I haven't seen it. I've seen the Meg 1, right? And I was meant to watch this one this year. It's still on my 2023 to watch list. Just never got round to it. I'm still looking on checking it out. Did you watch Tom? Meg 2?
I haven't seen Meg 2. I've seen Meg 1, and it feels like I'm just being a hater tonight, but I don't mean to be. It's just Jason Statham grates on me, and it just, these types of films, I know what you're saying, Kingo, mate. It is fun cheese, and take it for what it is. It's just films like that. I know there's a time and place for them, and a lot of people do like the Meg films. I feel like they take up cinema space, and they should just be like lower releases. I'm not saying there isn't a place for them. It's just, and Jason Statham should just not be on my telly anymore, basically.
We're going to see The Beekeeper on Thursday with him, and I'm not massive on Jason. No, it's all right. I'm not massive on Jason Statham. I can take him or leave him. I think he does a lot of generic action movies.
He plays the same person in every film.
Yeah. Oh, you should check out one called Night Beast, 1982. I haven't seen that one. I'm really sorry. You seen that one, Tom?
I haven't, mate. Not heard of it.
A lot of films come up when you're doing live streams that you haven't seen. It's just always the way.
Do you know what I thought?
Go on, sorry.
Do you know what I thought it was? I can't remember the name of the film is now, but it's this guy, and he can't stop thinking of this place in his mind, and he goes to kind of this like graveyard.
You're thinking of Nightbreed.
Nightbreed, yeah. Sorry, mate. Yeah, that's a mad film.
I watched that one a few months ago. I'd like to rewatch it again though, because I was really getting into it, and then when I went to the third act, I was like, I don't know, but I would like to give that one another go, because there's two cuts of it, and apparently I watched the theatrical, but apparently if you watch the other cut, it makes a bit more better sense, if you like. But everyone said watch that one first, then watch this other cut, so I have to go back to it at some point. Dave Cronenberg's in that, isn't he? Still a weird doctor type fella. Snakes on a Plane. I've got this on Blu-ray. Still haven't seen it, Tom.
No. See, again, that's fun cheese, but I was younger when it come out, and Samuel L. Jackson just says the motherfucker God knows how many times. It's just class.
I've got it upstairs, man. I need to watch it. I've seen like 20 minutes of it years ago when it come on DVD, and I just went into it. And I used to turn films off. I never didn't like them, and I turned it off. But I'd never really do that no more. So I do usually try and sift through them all. Slither, anyone? Again,
I've never see. I know it's a pretty big horror film. I'm right to say it's from like the 90s. I've never seen it. It's not something that kind of caught me eye.
Is this the one with James Gunn done? Is it? Hang on, let me just check. Because I do actually want to check this one out. Is it still there? Sorry about this, everyone. Yeah, James Gunn done this one. I think it was one of his earlier films, 2006. Yeah, I've heard great things about this one, actually, so I have to give that one a go. The Meg 2 is the Fast X of shark movies. Well, I actually really liked Fast X, so that one might do for me. You're not into the Fast and Furious system?
Yeah, they're all right. My girlfriend loves them. Yeah, the sound. I love the first five. I thought the first five were great.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen 8, 9, or 10, but I will eventually watch them at some point. I'll just take them for what they are and just enjoy them for what they are. But yeah.
I only watched them all for the first time this year because Fast X was coming out and I wanted to keep. I feel like I was the only person who had watched them. I'd only ever seen the first one. And Fast X was one of the better ones, I thought. 8 and 9, bit cheeky. So, got another few things written down here for the movie news. David Gordon Green exits The Exorcist Deceiver. I don't think that's it's kind of nothing news, this, really, because I felt like it was going to happen because that movie just didn't do well at all. Critically received, didn't do well at the box office. And I just don't think a trilogy from that film is the way to go if they're going to do any more Exorcist movies. I think they need to sort of go back and I don't want to. I know you can't just keep remaking, but that movie just did not work for me. But maybe with the new director,
IP for me.
Sorry,
Exorcist is just like a dead IP for me.
It's weird the way Blumhouse decided to buy this for 400 million, and then they're going to make a trilogy out of it that no one was asking for.
Yeah, I mean David Gordon Green. He's done a lot of horror the past couple of years, hasn't he? With the Halloween franchise and the first Exorcist Believer. I mean, maybe he should have done Exorcist Deceiver because he's no stranger to a controversial horror sequel, is he? Yeah. I stand on an island with Halloween Kills. I think I've told you that before. I like it. And the third one's a bit. It's a good film, but it's a bit mad. But
I actually the third one over Kills, to be honest. I mean, I actually really liked Halloween Ends, but
yeah,
I just watched the whole franchise and that was something different, and I appreciated it. So maybe
I think if it was a standalone film, I would have liked it a lot more. I just don't think they should have took that direction in the third film of a trilogy. It felt like they didn't really know what they wanted to do coming out of Kills. But
I can definitely see all the faults with it. Definitely. I mean, they maybe should have brought this Corey character into the second film instead of just bringing them into the third and his arc going nowhere. Really, they maybe should have, introduced him a bit earlier and start to build that story in the second one. It's kind of like David Gordon Green had this trilogy planned and went, right, I'm going to do this one, I'm going to do that one, and then, what can I do for this one instead of a full plan? That's what it felt like.
Yeah, but only because I made a couple of notes when you were saying about, this David Gordon Green, and in 2021, mate, Universal bought the IP rights for The Exorcist, made for a whopping 400 million. So I can't see them. I know the film's been shelved at the moment, but I can't see them leaving it alone for too long. If anything, mate, they just leave it for a couple of years and come back for a quick cash grab because although I didn't mind Exorcist Believer, that's what it was essentially, wasn't it? They just kind of slapped the Exorcist name on it and brought the character back for 10 minutes and that was it. But
I felt like it was the ultimate cash grab film, to be honest. That's what I felt it was.
Well, that's it, yeah. He's kind of the guy. He's kind of going back to low budget films, isn't he? He's doing a low budget film with Ben Stiller. I don't really know much about it, but yeah, I mean, maybe it's just. I mean, clearly there's been some kind of creative differences or whatever between him and the studio, but maybe he's just done with horror for a little bit. Because it must take a lot out of you if you're not a horror director from the very start, and you know what I mean, and you just kind of fall. It feels like he kind of fell into it. I know he co-wrote it with like the Halloween films with Danny McBride, didn't he?
I feel like there's a lot of weird comedy in the films as well, like misplaced comedy. that they put in. Like, I don't know if you remember the first Halloween, but it's like the writing's not great. Like the first Halloween they done, the 2018 one, them two cops are talking about fucking peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and it's just like, what the hell are they talking about? And like Halloween Kills, you got them two gay fellas, haven't you, who were like listening to the music and stuff. And but I actually thought that was quite, I actually thought that was quite funny. But there's some comedy that just doesn't land, and it just feels weird that the way he throws it in certain places. So I think the writing team he's got there isn't the best, but I think if a top end horror director came in to do The Exorcist, maybe something could work there, and maybe people would get on side with it. Let's say they brought in Fede Alvarez, who's doing a new Alien, who's just done the Evil Dead 2013. Say he said, right, my next film's a new Exorcist, people will go, okay, I'll give it a chance. So I think that's the best bet Blumhouse can do if they're going to bring out another Exorcist movie. They have to get someone on board who's very well respected in the horror community, I think.
I think Blumhouse, just as a studio, I think I mentioned this to you the other day, didn't I? When they kind of, I don't know, it's been around for a while now, but were they a pretty new company when the likes of Conjuring and things like that were coming out?
I think I don't know how long they've exactly been going, but a lot of their films do seem to be like from the 2010 onwards, don't they?
Yeah, but they can't. Let's just say that they come out then, like they come out strong, didn't they? A lot of them were hits and things like that. And I just feel in the last couple of years they've had a fair few duds, and there's we've already had LivesSCREAM this year, and there's another couple coming out, which I'm not overly confident with this year. That I just think, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they have to have a shake up on who they employ, and maybe kind of bring in some younger, just fresh ideas, because things just feel a little bit tired over there at the moment.
They do make a lot of money on certain films. They know how to make money, but it said it was founded in 2000, so yeah, we learned something new today, didn't we?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. But I think they've made over 100 films. I was looking at all the films they made the other day. I'm sure there was 100 in there, or like 80s on onwards, something like that. But they do make some films that go straight to VOD and stuff sometimes. Like they made one last year called There's Something Wrong with the Children. That was just straight to streaming. Didn't get a cinema release and stuff. So
that was poor as well. I felt like that was a dud.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. So we'll see with that one. Kingo says, hell yeah. And while we're just on the David Gordon Green chat, I hope I can appreciate Ends someday. The disappointment was too great. Believer, though, time to take a break. Yeah, I mean, I think Believer is the worst out of all them 4 films, out of the Halloween trilogy, and that was the one I liked the least. And I'm not really a big fan of Halloween Kills, but I would watch that 50 times more over The Exorcist Believer any day. So yeah, I think I've heard people say Ends didn't work for them, and then they rewatched it and they liked it. Brim from Horror Hands, who is a really cool guy on here, he liked it the second time and done a full review and stuff. So maybe on rewatch it'll work. So we've got right. So quickly, the title of The Conjuring: Last Rites was officially revealed. Like we all knew it was going to be called The Conjuring: The Last Rites, but now it's just called Conjuring: Last Rites. And they put the title up on Twitter the other day. That was it. So that says to me we're probably going to get a trailer soon. So there's not really much to talk about here, Tom. But basically, all I can say is, are you a fan of the Conjuring series, and are you looking forward to a new Conjuring film? I think it's coming this year.
Yeah, I think the original came out in like 2013, around that time.
Yeah,
that scared me. That was a film that scared me at the time.
Yeah.
And sorry, mate, it's got a bit of heartburn. The second one, again, because it was set in Britain. I love horror that is set in Britain. The Enfield Haunting, which is a pretty, like, even before I knew about that haunting before The Conjuring 2. It's probably the most famous poltergeist haunting in Britain.
Yeah.
And then the third one kind of took a different direction, which I didn't mind, but for a lot of people it didn't pay off. I didn't mind it. Again, it was a famous Ed and Lorraine Warren case, but I hope the... How do I say it? I don't want to say the writing was lazy for the third one. It felt so different to the first two. I just hope they lean more back into the first two, and we get more kind of that vibe. And they do rely, the Conjuring films, they do rely a lot on jump scares and things like that. But they're films that kind of do it right, I feel. And as I say, we can't really speak on much. Is there any idea of what kind of Ed and Lorraine case it is, or do we not know anything about the movie yet?
Just this plot under wraps. I don't even know who's directing the damn thing. It's just got writers on there. Sorry, what was that? Yeah, I had to put it on. Turn off if you want. Sorry, I was just talking to my wife there. It just says plot under wraps. But I really like the first two. The second one is actually better for me. I think the first one's a little bit scarier, but the second one is a better story, in my opinion. Like you said, takes place in Britain and stuff. Just worked. This third one, man, I think it's my worst movie in the entire Conjuring universe, including The Nun and The Curse of La Llorona. And I just hated it.
I think The Curse of La Llorona is a really underrated film.
Yeah. Well, I actually like that better than the first Nun as well. I think it's. I didn't like it though, but it's not as bad as what everyone says. But this third one, man, they're just making Vera Farminger's character a superhero. She can touch something on a crime scene and then suddenly see the whole damn thing. I'm like, yeah, I'm not buying that. It just totally took me out of the film. And I thought the court case thing was going to be great, and I don't think they really used that a lot. To their advantage. They just kind of use segments of it here and there. So yeah, I was really disappointed in the third one. So I'm hoping this one can put it back on track a little bit there. But these movies make money, and they're always going to get made until they start losing money. So
that's it.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to get the Nun 3 and everything as well. Another bit of news that came out that was kind of strange. Not strange, but I didn't kind of see it coming, is Megan 2.0, and this is rumoured to be good. This is rumoured to have Megan as a good character in this one, fighting another doll called Amelia, who's trying to get to Katie, who she was she's the owner of the doll in the first film. And what do you think of that storyline, Tom? I know it's a little bit, it mixes it up a little bit.
Yeah, do you know what, bro? I loved the first film. A lot more than I probably should have. It's not really my type of film usually, but like, I'm not really huge on sci-fi, but I did. I proper loved it. I thought the forest scene was boss. And with this one, for me, it just feels like Chucky meets Terminator 2, and I'm here for it, mate. I am here for it.
That's exactly what I thought, Terminator 2.
Yeah, I hope it's a bit like Terminator 2 in the sense of, who's the Amelia? Is it
Amelia?
Yeah. Hopefully she's like, I don't know, more advanced, cleverer weaponry. I don't know. I made this note. I just hope it's not. I hope it's got some story to it as well. Though. I hope it's not just two kids throwing each other into walls. Essentially, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't care what anyone says. I think your horror films have got to have a good story, and whether they're slashes or not, story is the main thing for me.
Yeah, but that's what I really about to say, because at the moment it's just a rumor, isn't it? And I don't really know much about it, but I am a big fan of Megan as a character. I think she made a pretty big splash when she comes to the screen, and I hope she sticks around for a long time. Like,
I just hope it doesn't kind of ruin their own franchise with this, because they've got like a slasher icon there now, and they're going to make it good in the second one. Can they really make it go bad again in the third? I don't know how that's going to work out for them. But I thought Megan was fine. I didn't love it, didn't hate it, but there was some really, like the scene in the forest you're talking about stuff. She's a cool character, a cool villain, I think. But yeah, I'm interested to see that. I'm just glad that they do. I know it's borrowing from Terminator 2, but they're doing something a little bit different there. It's only a rumor, by the way. This isn't full on happening, but it's just a rumor.
I think that sounds good, mate. I'm up for that.
Yeah, you all right for time, Tom?
Yeah,
it's fine. Just because getting on to the 1 hour 30 mark. Yeah, so yeah, we'll give that one a go. So next up, I know I haven't got well, hang on, we'll just get this. If we could get 5 mega movies, I'd be pleased. I hope they give us all the angles. They probably will, mate. They probably will give us Megan 5.0 at some point.
I don't even know what to do with that. Fair play.
But it's a money maker, isn't it? So next bit, I know you haven't seen the show, so I don't think you're gonna have too much to say on this one, Tom. But Caitlin Dever cast as Abby in The Last of Us season 2, which is a zombie type game, isn't it? So a zombie type show. I do think it's horror, really. So, are you not gonna watch the show?
I think I will, but I think I'll wait till the show's wrapped up and watch it in its entirety.
Okay.
The games are just complete masterpieces for me, and I don't want to watch it and be annoyed and little things do me head in. So when it's all wrapped up, I'll just watch it in its full and I'll judge it as a full thing. I
personally don't think it will ruin anything for you. I think the show is damn near.
Yeah, well, I've only heard good things about it, which makes me, I don't know. I feel like I'm being patient with it, and I feel like it's the right thing for me to do. I know that sounds weird, but yeah.
You do you, man. You know, that's the way you want to do it. That's the way you want to do it, isn't it?
But Caitlin Dever, I mean, she had a big 2023, didn't she? She was No One Will, what is it? No One Will Save You.
Yeah.
As the protagonist, and it's not that she's an antagonist in Last of Us. She's, I don't know, every character's a bit of grey, aren't they? No one's quite good or bad, and it's perception and how you see it, and the game's done an excellent job of that.
I know you're probably not gonna, Tom, but we'll just try and avoid the big spoiler.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. I wouldn't do that. Yeah. But yeah, you know,
I know you wouldn't, mate. I was just
yeah. You know, but the only thing I can really comment on is she does look a little bit like the game character, even without any makeup or wardrobe. So hopefully, mate, she might have to beef up a bit, because the Abby I remember from the game, she's quite she's quite muscular and things like that, isn't she? So she'll have to hit the gym, I suppose. But yeah, but eventually, when I get around to watching it, I do look forward to it.
A lot of people, I mean, a lot of things I've seen her in, like Booksmart, No One Will Save You and stuff. She's like kind of a meek character. She kind of plays like a little innocent, but it'll be interesting to see how diverse she is as an actress playing Abby, because she's got to play something totally different here. And I think she was actually considered for the role of Ellie when they were doing the first season, and she does look like her and stuff, but I think she's got even a more look of Abby if she puts a bit of muscle on and stuff. I think this is a really, really good cast, and I'm really excited to see how she's going to turn out in this. So, I hope you enjoyed the show when you get to it, Tom. It's definitely worth a watch, mate. One thing I'll say, I hope people aren't assholes to her, because the original Abby who done the voice got a lot of hate online. Like, people were sending her death threats and everything because the way the story went. Don't know if you heard about that, Tom, but this is a real big role and a brave role to take on. So people who haven't played the game, who are watching the show, I hope they don't do the same with her when something finally happens. My uncle, who I go to match with, has never played a video game in his life, but he loves this show. So there are people out there who are fully invested in the show who don't know what's happening in the games. So I just hope she doesn't get any backlash. It's just fiction.
That's just sad, like incel stuff, isn't it? Like, people need to grow up. If you're able to hail abuse or someone you don't know online, like.
So I respect her for taking a role. So we've also got, like, this is one that really excited me. I've got a Frankenstein movie in here coming from Guillermo del Toro. I think it's coming straight to Netflix. It's got Mia Goth in, Oscar Isaac, Jacob Elordi. I don't know if you've seen Saltburn.
Yeah, brilliant film.
Yeah. So he's like the rich guy in that, isn't he? You got Christoph Waltz and Felix Camara, who probably excites me the most because I watched. What was that war film that came out last year, man? Oh my god, All Quiet on the Western Front, and I thought he was excellent in that. It's the only film I've seen him in, but that is like one of the best casts I've ever seen. So I don't know what's going to happen with Mia Goth, because apparently she's kicked some guy in the head and she's getting sued by him. So I don't know how her career is going to go. It might go down the pan like Jonathan Majors is at the moment. I don't know. But I think this is a film that's got a lot of potential, Tom. What do you reckon?
I don't know much about it, to be honest. I know we're getting like 3 Frankenstein films this year, aren't we?
We're definitely getting Bride of Frankenstein as well, which I'll touch on in a sec. But yeah. Have you seen the original Frankenstein?
I know the story of Frankenstein. Is it a modern interpretation? Is it going to be period set?
Well,
do we know
all I
anything
can tell
about
you,
it?
Tom, all I can tell you,
I mean,
mate,
that's a whopper
is the
cast,
cast and the director.
You know, Jacob Elordi, he was good in Saltburn. I'd much rather it be Barry Keoghan. You know, even the likes of David Bradley being attached to it. I don't know much about it, to be honest with you, mate. I've never been. Yeah, I've never been a huge. Loads of people love him, Del Toro.
Yeah, never been a fan.
He's very strange, isn't he?
Yeah.
Even as the anthology series that he put out on Netflix last year was hit and miss.
I never got to that, to be honest. But...
No, yeah, it was hit and miss. We'll see what's what. I don't know much about it, to be honest with you, George.
Fair enough, mate. Oh, I'm gonna just put my 2 cents in. I think the original Frankenstein is a great film. And I'm excited to see what they're gonna do with this. Guillermo del Toro is a good choice, I feel. Like Tom said, he does a bit hit and miss, but like I watched The Shape of Water and thought what was all that about, and then the more I thought about it, I thought that was actually a really good film. Pan's Labyrinth is an excellent movie. Pinocchio last year was a bit so we'll see. But I think he can put a whole new visual style to this, and with that cast, that cast is just mind blowing to me. So I'm excited for it. Just interested to see his take on the story. We're also getting a Bride of Frankenstein, directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal, which is mad to me, who played Rachel in The Dark Knight. Got Annette Bening in there, who is fantastic in American Beauty, Christian Bale, Jessie Buckley, and Penelope Cruz. I don't think this is attached to Frankenstein from Guillermo del Toro. I think they're both separate things, but again, I think you're just going to have a similar answer to this one, Tom.
Yeah, the only thing I know about it, mate, it's set in the 1930s. I think it's closer to the original story than not. But yeah, see how it goes, mate. As I say, I don't know much about the Frankenstein monster. I know the original story to an extent. Is it? I know he's kind of like a misunderstood creature, I suppose. But yeah, see what happens, mate. I'll definitely watch it, but I'm not overly keen on the. I don't know.
Universal monster.
Yeah, I mean, I am, but they've got to be done well and at a certain pace, and not everything's got to be set way back when. And I don't know, mate.
Is it the time? Is it the time period it's set in that's not doing it for you, or
possibly? I don't, but at the same time, I don't know until I've seen the film, mate. I could be sitting here in a couple of months' time saying it was brilliant. Do you know what I mean? Just see what happens.
Fair enough. We'll move on from that. But I just think they're 2 exciting movies with exciting directors and exciting cast. So I just thought I'd mention them. King Gore says respect. I think that's something you probably one of us answered before. Keith Atkins, hello Keith. Thanks for coming to the channel, mate. The Exorcist, in my view, is a standalone film and should be left that way. Yeah, I mean, I've always had the opinion that I'm not really too bothered about remakes or sequels because you've always got the original, but this is one that just didn't need a sequel or a franchise even that it's got now. The Exorcist, I rewatched it a few months ago before The Believer come out, and that film, I see it's genius now. It's really grew on me. Every time I watch it, it gets better, but last time I just seen how good it actually was, and it should have been left that way. So you had that opinion, Tom?
Yeah, it's one of those films where I wish I could go back in time and watch it when it first came out because of the splash it made. It's considered by, I mean, a lot of websites and horror lists and all of that, like the greatest horror of all time. I disagree, but a lot of people hold it in a higher regard. At the time, it certainly would have been shocking for the likes of our parents who might have gone to cinema to see it. And as a standalone film, it is a good film, and it probably should have been left alone. It's almost, but even though all these dud sequels and stuff like that have come out, I don't think it's sullied the original at all. I still think people view it as the classic that it is, which is rightly so. But yeah, I think it's a tired franchise and it should be left alone for a while anyway.
Yeah, that's what I mean when you go back and say you've always got the original, haven't you? I mean, that's like I don't know, I'm trying to think of trilogies here where you just remember the original, but I do agree with Keith, and yeah, it should. It is a standalone movie. It didn't need to be a franchise, and it should have stopped at the second one when you think about it. Because man, if you want the worst 2 hours of your life, Tom, just watch the second one. Honestly, and we got King Gore saying facts. Yeah, he's spot on. So we've got one more little news segment here before we just move on to some anticipated films for the year, and then we'll wrap it up. But this one is Final Destination 6. Now, the story here has changed, and I was really excited about this story because it was going to work around a team of first responders, like ambulance, police, fire, whatever, the emergency services. And it was going to the story was going to be based around that, but apparently they've scrapped that now, and the story is going to center on this woman who has saved a lot of people from a collapsing building, and death is coming after her 50 years later, and her bloodline, or the people who were in the building. I can't remember if it said their family bloodline or the people in the building, but it seems a lot.
I think it's called Final Destination Bloodlines.
Oh, is it?
I think it's the older woman who saves stops the premonition from happening, is in the burning building. I think she dies later on, and death kind of works its way around to the families of the survivors of that, because they never should have been alive, should they?
Right. Okay.
It's an interesting concept. I feel like because they'd have to target the families of the survivors as well, you'd have a massive body count. Big scenes might be a bit too much for the first reboot, because from what I understand, then is they were rebooting the entire franchise, so I expect a couple of films. It's a shame about the original concept being throughout, because I was hoping for like some kind of a crime scene and maybe have a human antagonist, as well as maybe a serial killer or something like that, maybe intertwined in the story. It is a shame, but the Final Destination, like you said before, all good horror films need a good narrative and a good story to go with them. But with the Final Destination films, I think certainly of our generation who maybe missed the likes of the Freddy Kruegers and that coming out at the time that they did come out, this was kind of our generation. They were coming out as we were growing up, and at the very least, mate, they were capturing attention. Everyone can remember at least one significant kill, can't they, from the Final Destination series?
They are. It is a franchise that's got some very creative kills, isn't it?
100%. Even if some of the sequels are a bit iffy, especially after the third one. But it's one of those films where it worries me in a sense that they've had to go back to the drawing board. But it's just as long as the show and they've got good people attached to the project, then, because I thought this would have been further along the line by now. I think it was back when I'd done the first stream with you, and I think that was back in August time.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it. Yeah, so which is worrisome.
You wouldn't think it'd be that hard to get a good Final Destination film out, would you?
No. But yeah, see what happens.
Tom says the endings to Final Destination 5 is great. Yeah. I've got a confession to make here now. I've only seen the first 3. I've got the box set upstairs, and I'm thinking about, should I watch them or should I just wait till the new ones coming out and then binge them then? But I've never seen 4 and 5, I'm afraid. And I know that is sacrilege as a horror fan, that I should be watching them by now, but
yeah.
I think I know what happened at the end of 5. I think I've heard it, but
they're not great stories, but yeah, there's some good kills in them. But for me, the second one has the best kills, but I think the third one's the best film for me. Yeah, but it's a franchise that I do really enjoy. It's a franchise that I did go to cinema to see almost everyone growing up, apart from the first 2 because I was too young. But the rest of them, I did go and see them all, and I hope it's a good film when it comes out, because want it to succeed.
Could reignite the franchise again and get one every couple of years.
Well, that's what it was, and that's what I thought it was supposed to be. And as I say, the rewrites and things like that's worrisome. But you know, we'll see what happens.
That first one for me has got the greatest opening scene in horror history. For me personally, because it stuck with me since the day it come out. I am terrified of flying because of that film, and I just think of it every time I go out. It does me head in. So yeah, we'll just get on to a couple of 2024 movies that are coming out now, and then we'll wrap it up. You still okay for time, Tom?
Yeah, mate, let's go.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got a couple coming out soon. I did write Night Swim down here, but we've already talked about it. So we've got one coming out next week, I believe, called Baghead. Now, I seen the trailer for this and I thought the story looked good, but the trailer was full of sound effect jump scares every 2 seconds, and I'm just hoping the movie isn't fully banking on jump scares all the way through it, because the story looks interesting. I know you said you like jump scares, Tom, but this trailer was actually just looked like it was going to be every 2 minutes in the movie. So,
yeah.
What do you think of this one, mate? You got your eye on this one?
Yeah, I do actually. The only thing that's worrisome about it for me is one of the main writers is one of the writers from Night Swim. Now, I know you shouldn't judge someone off the one project. I know you shouldn't, but I hate the Night Swim so much. But yeah, I mean, from what I know about it, I think it might be set in Britain, you know. I don't know for certain, but I think on the trailer she gets given a pub, and it looks like a pub. But I suppose you do get pubs in America, don't you? But films with witches, I don't know. There's something about that kind of subgenre that I've always liked. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, mate. As I say, I haven't looked too much into all the new films coming out. You'll probably tell me more than I know. But I am looking at that, because I seen that in a text straight away, didn't I? I said, have you seen the look at that Baghead? I mean, if you're a Scouser as well, you'll know that title is just a bit mad. It's not what you think.
When we watch a Night Swim, the trailer come up, and then the title come up, Baghead, and someone went, Baghead.
Yeah, of course it did. Yeah. But yeah, I am looking forward to it. I mean, it looks as though the big Blumhouse one that they're looking forward to is, I'm sure, the one that you're going to mention, coming out in a couple of months. But we'll see, mate. It can't be much worse than Night Swim, and I am looking forward to it. I did enjoy the trailer.
I wrote on Twitter to someone that the trailer just looks full of generic jump scares. I hope it's not a letdown. And the guy who made the short of Baghead, because it was a short and now it's getting made into a full film, wrote to me and put a gif up saying, take a chance on me. So I said, okay, mate, I'm definitely going to give you a chance.
I thought Cobweb looked a bit generic-y and things like that on the trailer. When I watched that, I was pleasantly shocked. So I'm looking, as I say, mate, I'm looking forward to it. It looks like the type of horror that a bit my street. So I'm trying not to think about it too much, but I'm definitely going to go see it in the cinema there.
We've got another one coming in March, but everyone else is getting it in February on Valentine's Day, and this is a movie that is a horror rom-com. So why wouldn't you give it to us on Valentine's Day as well? But we're getting it on the March 22nd, and this is Lisa Frankenstein with Catherine Newton in. It's like a horror comedy where she brings someone back from the dead, I believe. And I don't know if she's kind of fallen in love with him or something, but yeah, this one.
Yeah, I think you know, I think she's supposed to be a bit, I don't know, it's along the lines of Freaky, isn't it? That teen kind of horror. I do think it looks all right. Yeah, it's got, you know, the kid from Zack and Cody, Cole Sprouse, and he's also, a lot of people know him from, is it Riverdale? I've never seen the show. A lot of people know from that too. Yeah, it looks all right, mate. She looks a bit nutty in the film, if that's a polite way to put it.
That's why she thought to connect them with him, innit? Because she's
a bit gothic and things like that. I mean, it very much looks like a popcorn flick, but I will watch it and hopefully it pleasantly surprises me. I do enjoy her as an actress. I really liked her in Freaky. I thought she was good in that. I like the look of her in Abigail as well.
Yeah, I think she's a good actress. I've seen her quite a few films with her in now. The Map of Tiny Perfect Things. I don't know if many people watch that, but that came straight to Amazon. She was really good in that. Yeah, Freaky, like you said, she was in and the Wasp, weren't she? So, have you, before I go through them, Tom, have you got any written down that you're looking forward to, or was you just banking on me to bring them out, or?
No,
I
Long
don't mean
Legs.
banking on me, but I wrote a load down, and I knew you said you'd have
Yeah,
looked into it too much.
Long Legs is one that I'm quite looking forward to. The teaser trailers we've got so far, it seems to be something to do with an occult, but with like a serial killer as well. Don't know
Is
much
this the one
about
with
it.
Shyamalan's daughter's doing?
No, mate, that's The Watchers. This
Oh
Long
yeah,
Legs, it's on testing screen and that. Like it's people are saying it looks really good and things like that, and the critics are saying it looks good, and audience
yeah,
reaction say it looks good. The only thing that's worrisome about it is Nicolas Cage is attached to it.
yeah. I know which film you're talking about now because I was listening to a live stream the other day and he was talking about it. But yeah, go on, sorry, mate.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. It's pretty vague about what it's about and things like that, because even on the trailers, it's just little snippets of it's only teaser trailers out at the moment, and it's little snippets of like 911 calls and occult imagery and stuff like that across the screen. But things like that always seem to catch my attention. It's the intrigue of it, isn't it? So I'm looking forward to that, mate. And
Got me, come on, Rowan. No, she's a great actress. I don't know if you've seen anything with her.
who? Sorry, mate.
Micah Monroe. She was in It Follows, and
Probably,
she was
yeah.
the main girl in It Follows. And did you watch Watcher from last year or the year before?
The show.
No, it was just called Watcher.
I don't think so. That's pretty well regarded as well, isn't it?
Yeah, she was in that. She was great in that. So yeah, Nicolas Cage and Micah Monroe. I'm actually a fan of Nicolas Cage. So
I am a fan of him. It's just he's hit and miss, and
yeah.
He's almost he's legendary
He's in
status.
everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But he did a film which I thought, you were good in that, something to the devil, something to do with the devil earlier in the year with
So is he in the car or something?
Sympathy for the Devil or something like that. And I thought, wow, you're a lunatic, you. So, and I know he's played roles like that in the past, so hopefully he's a bit like that in this, because I believe he plays a serial killer in this, and it's also to do with the occult and stuff like that as well. So hopefully, mate, yeah.
It sounds interesting, that one, man.
And then, sorry, mate, go on.
No, go on. I was just going to say, anything else you wrote down?
So we've got Shelby Oaks, which
I wrote that one down, man.
Yeah, it's no secret at this point. I mean, he's he's one of the biggest movie reviewers, horror reviewers in the world, isn't he? And he's kind of been given his lifelong dream of directing his own horror film. I don't know much about the plot. Do you know anything about there?
Apparently, it's these paranormal investigators go and look for. I think they go and look for was it a sister who disappeared there years before, loosely based on a true story, and it's going to use bits of found footage in there as well as a normal filmed movie, I think. But that's all.
I hope it goes well for him.
Yeah.
Tell you what I am looking forward to. I don't know if you've heard. Have you ever seen Faces of Death?
Yeah, there's a remake coming, isn't there?
Yeah, but it's more of a linear film. It's not. So for people watching, if you've never seen Faces of Death, it's a film that came out in like the late 70s. Was it a video, Nasty?
I think so, yeah. But
and
it's all people dying, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's just anthology, but it was billed as real, wasn't it? It was marketed as it was real, and it was just loads of clips of people dying in mad ways, and it ended up with about 3 sequels, I think, didn't it?
Apparently, it was all staged though. Now it's come out.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm glad, because that was some sick stuff. But there's some good people attached to it. I mean, the singer Charlie XCX is attached to it. Daphne Montgomery. I can't think of the character's name off the top of my head, but he's the girl's brother who goes nutty in Stranger Things when he tries to kill them. Yeah, and he's in the Power Rangers reboot as well. I like him as an actor. I like him as an actor.
When he's got the big curly wig.
yeah. So he's in it, and then I think someone from Euphoria is in it, and people that younger people that know maybe old farts in the 30s. But yeah, I don't know. I like the idea of it, and the plot seems pretty good. It's about one of the girls she finds at a collection of tapes, the Faces of Death tapes, and people seem to be dying in her life who is similar to the tapes in the film. So
that sounds interesting.
It seems like more of a linear story.
Oh no, I like the sound of that now, because I was just thinking, how the hell are they gonna remake this? It's just a video clips, but that sounds interesting, man. That's on my radar now. Just quickly get into this one, Tom. Have you seen one called Nina Forever? Very disturbing English film.
No, I've never heard of it.
Nina Forever. Neither have I. Very disturbing. That's something I'd watch. Nina Forever. Oh, right. Nina Forever. No, I haven't even heard of that one, Tom. Suicidal Rob starts dating a colleague at the supermarket, but whenever they have sex, his dead girlfriend Nina pops up.
Fair play.
Tom thought it was John Travolta in it. It must have been something about Nicolas Cage there, what we were talking about. Can you elaborate on that, Tom, if you don't mind?
Yeah, sorry, I know Nicolas Cage is attached to long legs. Like he might be. I don't know. It's been pretty on the wraps. Terrifier 3. I think we're all looking forward to that one. The only thing that I'm a little bit like, I wish it went set at Christmas. I don't like Christmas horror. Never have done. No, and
I think it's coming out to be set at Christmas. To be honest, I don't know why. I think it just suits it.
Yeah. I just hope it's like just the first half hour and then leave it alone. And the only reason I've got hope for that is that it's coming out around Christmas, around Halloween. Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah,
tell you what it is. Watching a Halloween and watching a Christmas.
I don't know how they're going to top some of the kills from the second one, because wow, I don't know if it's going to be 2.5 hours long again. I don't know, but I'm all about the art, the clown train, and long may it continue. But obviously, second one was bigger budget, bigger everything. The third one looks like it's going to be the same. So,
well, the second one was still in the 100,000s. I think it was 200,000, but it's still more than the first one. But this one, I think he's getting millions to do it. So I'm interested to see what he can actually do on this one.
Yeah, and still be able to keep it in the cinema. So be interesting to see. But I am looking forward to it, like, definitely. One that I am looking forward to, Christmas Day, Nosferatu comes out, which I think is a weird release date. But the reason that it appeals to me, mate, is I'm right in saying Bill Skarsgård is playing the vampire. Now, I've never seen the original Nosferatu.
Count Orlok, I think you mean.
Count Orlok, right? For me, that's just too old for me to sit down and try and enjoy. So I'm just going to watch this one, and I'm just hoping that, because every time I seem to see Bill Skarsgård on screen, I enjoy whatever he seems to be in.
Yeah.
I think he's a brilliant actor, and I'm just looking forward to it. Like, I don't know much about the plot. I haven't seen anything in a costume and anything like that, but he shoots these types of roles. He shoots these character villain roles to a T, I think, and I think he showcased that perfectly as Pennywise.
Yeah, I have seen the original Nosferatu. I watched it a couple of months ago, actually. Someone sent me it, and I was really, really tired watching it, and I was just trying to squeeze it in before I went to bed, and I need to rewatch it, man. But you know what? It was all right. It's a silent film. It's like, I don't know, have you ever watched any silent films before?
Not really, right? No.
Well, if they want to say dialogue, it just comes up as words on the screen.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, though, that must have been terrifying back then, because even now he just looks creepy as anything, doesn't he?
Yeah. I mean, they always say that's like some of the very earliest scare scenes, don't they? When he's I think he's like walking down. Oh, when he gets up from the coffin, isn't it, and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one, but I don't think I'm looking forward to it as much as everyone else, because that seems to be the most hyped horror film of the year in the majority, really. But I'm interested to see it. Robert Eggers' last film, and Orphan, was brilliant, I thought. Anything else written down there, Tom?
Got the new Strangers trilogy.
Yeah.
which
I'm interested to see how this is going to pan out.
yeah, I hope it's not the same protagonist in all three films, because I'll just get bored of not seeing someone escape death so close every time for 6 hours or however long they are. I don't really know much about the plot. All I know is that it's these faceless killers that are just terrifying, and it's scary because it could really happen. I thought the first film was brilliant. I know they're highly regarded anyway, but it's just the idea, you know, that line that just because you were home put shivers up your back. I think because we're looking at a trilogy. Am I right in saying they all come out this year?
Yeah, apparently it's rumored that they're all coming out this year. The first one is in, I think it's March or April, May even, but it's meant to all be coming out as a 3 this year. Yeah. I doubt it will, but that's what I've heard. I'm just more intrigued to see. They must have had an idea, because The Strangers isn't the biggest horror movie out there. It's not the most popular. I know it's a little bit popular, but to just say, oh, we've got this trilogy coming out, they must have had some original idea there to do that. There must be something in it.
But I you know, the first two films I thought were boss, and yeah, I am. I'm looking forward to these last three. Another one, Smile 2. I can't believe I haven't touched on that one yet. First one was Boss. I believe that they're going in a different direction with this one, and it's pretty kept on the wraps at the moment. But I really enjoyed the first one, so I hope it doesn't sway too much from it. Because people go into films expecting something, and if they don't get what they expect, it can damage the film's reputation, and it can damage a franchise. And we don't want it to. The first film was Boss, and I think the first film falls under the category of people didn't expect it to be as good as it should have been.
Yeah, I think we were all just expecting a generic horror film, weren't we?
Yeah, and it ended up being really good, and interesting to see what to do with it. I just hope they don't butcher it too much, because the first one is a modern day classic, I feel.
It goes back to what we were saying at the start of the stream. No, do you remember I said, like, I wanted to touch on that later? It's something. It's like one of them films doesn't need a sequel.
Yeah, just leave it alone. Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see. I'm interested to see how that comes out.
See, there is a few more films coming out, but I don't know anything about them. It's just this, like, I know we're getting a M. Sham, I can't say his name. M. Sham Night film. I know we're getting a new M. Sham Night film. I know that's called Trap, and I know it's something to do with a concert. It's set in a concert, but apart from that, I don't know anything about it. And his daughter stars in the film, not the one who's directing The Watchers.
His other daughter.
His other daughter, yeah. So it's a big year for their family, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's another film called
I won't be there for Shyamalan, man.
Yeah, always, yeah. You know, we're expecting the twist. There's a film coming out called Dust Bunny, which I think's got Mads Mikkelsen in.
I haven't heard of this one.
Yeah, there isn't a trailer attached to it or nothing like that. It's basically the tagline for it is a kid asks a neighbour to kill a monster under a bed who thinks it's ate a family. And I just know Mads Mikkelsen is starred in it, and he's one of them. I'm there just for Mads Mikkelsen. I think he's great. Like,
yeah. Sounds interesting. I mean, he's brilliant in everything he's in. I've seen him in, apart from Indiana Jones, where I just thought he was just the most normal villain ever. He's spot on, Mads Mikkelsen. I wrote a few down. We've got A Quiet Place Day 1.
I've only ever seen the first one and a little bit of the second one. It done me head in. I watched like half of the second one, and I think my son got dropped off at ours, and obviously I had to turn it off, and I never kind of revisited it.
The best part is probably where it goes back to day one, so I'm interested to see how they're going to do that. But the second one's really good, actually. It's worth watching.
Yeah, I mean, he's a talented fella, that John Krasinski, isn't he? Is he attached to the new one as well?
I think he's only written it, and he's not directing it, which is weird, because he directed the first.
So he's took a step back with every film, hasn't he? Even further and further away. So, but, you know, talented fella. I hope it pans out well for him.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that one. I like the first two. I wrote down The Wolfman. Now, the main reason I'm looking forward to this, I know you love the American Werewolf in London, Tom, but I think the best werewolf film ever made is The Wolfman from 1941. I just think it's everything you want in a werewolf movie is there. It's just perfect. And I know it's not going to be a fully blown remake to that. It's going to be its own version because Lee Whannell's directing this, and he done The Invisible Man from a couple of years ago, and that
Fantastic
wasn't
film.
anything really like the original Invisible Man.
No.
It was a modern.
I rated that Invisible Man. No, I thought it was great.
I did, but he's also made a film called Upgrade, which everyone rates very, very highly. I've never actually got round to it, but I really want to watch it. He made Insidious 3, which for me is the best one alongside the first one.
So it's in good hands.
Yeah, I'm gonna be excited for anything he's kind of doing in future now, because 2 of the 3 films he's made I think are brilliant. I really want to check out Upgrade, so I'm excited to see what he can do with this. And that Ryan Gosling was starring in it, but he's dropped out of it now, and it's going to this other guy. I forgot his name, but he's in the film It Comes at Night, and I thought he was a good character in that. So interesting to see how this one's going to pan out. Any thoughts on that one?
No, but I'm all for it. And I think it seems to be a big year for these new classic monsters, doesn't it? So yeah, don't know. We'll review them all at the end and see what's what. But yeah, I'm up for a werewolf film. There's not a mummy film coming out, is there?
There's what, sorry?
There's not a mummy film coming out, is there?
No, not to my knowledge, mate. Obviously, there's going to be films announced throughout the year as well. We don't know every film that's coming out, do we? But one I wrote down is Alien Romulus. I've got 2 more that I wrote down here that we haven't really mentioned, but Alien Romulus, I know you mightn't be as high on this one.
Yeah, I'm not big on the Alien franchise, but the one thing I do know about it is, because I was watching another YouTuber earlier today, apparently Ridley Scott has seen an early screening of the film, and he said it's the perfect Alien film.
Right.
So
okay.
If he's saying it, right, it must be somewhat good, you know.
Hopefully, it doesn't do all this new shite that he done in Prometheus and Alien Covenant.
But that's what I was going to say. I know the newer Alien films haven't got the best of reputations, have they, amongst the fan base of that franchise. But hopefully, mate, this is a turning point.
Yeah. Well, Fede Alvarez is doing it, who made The Evil Dead 2013. So,
there you go.
There you
go. It's got to be a classic.
Yeah. Apparently, there's a lot of practical effects in it as well. There's not too much CGI and stuff. So, I'm excited for this, and I think it takes place between Alien and Aliens. So it's going back to that original timeline there. So I'm up for it. Maxine as well. Now, like I said, Mia Goth is in a little bit of a court battle there at the minute, or she's gonna be. So that could dampen the movie for some people. I mean, I'm gonna watch it because there's more people involved in a movie than one person being an asshole. And it happened with The Flash and everything. That movie still come out, so it's still gonna come out, obviously. So, are you a fan of X and Pearl?
Yeah, brilliant films. I appreciated X once I'd seen Pearl. I appreciated X more once I'd seen Pearl, if that makes sense. But it's, is it Eli Roth?
No, Ty West.
Ty West, sorry, mate. Yeah, Ty West. He's strange, to say the least, but yeah, I don't even know what to say about him, because they're strange films. And like the first 2 kind of come out back to back, didn't they? And then so we were expecting like a big budget third one, and I didn't know. Mia Goth, what's she done? Kick someone in the head?
In real life, apparently she's kicked the co-star in the head when they were making this film, because
Maxine.
I think it was Maxine, yeah, and she went a bit too far and actually hit him in the head, and he said, "Stop," or what do you think? Who do you think you are? And she said, "Do something about it." And he has actually gone and done something about it. Now, this is the report, what I seen. So apparently he's taken it to court, and it's a shame, really, because Mia Goth is an absolute superstar, in my opinion. But you can't just go kicking people in the head, can you? So
you can't. But at the same time, mate, I'm not asked. I want to see the film.
Yeah. I mean, it's taken place in the 80s. Looks like it.
It's the survivor from the first film, isn't it?
It's from the main girl from X, yeah. And it's taking place in the 80s. I've got a feeling it's going to have a killer soundtrack and everything. It's in Los Angeles, sort of a grimy feel to it. I can't wait, man. And apparently it's going to be like a giallo film. I don't know. Have you seen many giallo films, Tom? Like from the Italian, like Deep Red and stuff.
No, I haven't. I think we spoke about this guy last time. But no, I haven't.
Yeah, it's basically just they're like murder mysteries, really. But it's going to have a giallo feel to it, which gets me excited. I think that's all the ones I've wrote down. I've wrote a couple of honorable mentions. One of them was Not So Far Too. The other one is Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I know it's not a full horror movie, but it's a family horror comedy, isn't it?
I thought Afterlife was great. I'm there.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. Looks a lot of fun, really, doesn't it? I wrote down Speak No Evil. Have you seen the original of this that came out in 2022?
I haven't.
Is it Speak No Evil or See No Evil? Have you heard of it?
I think the one that's coming out this year is called See No Evil, I think.
Right. Okay, it might be See No Evil. Because when I wrote it down, I was like, it's Speak No Evil, this one, the original. But it's getting a remake. It might be called See or Speak, I don't know, but it's the same story. Tom, do yourself a favour, man. Just watch this film. It's a Danish movie, I believe, and it's about this family with a couple of kids. Or they've got a kid, and they meet this other family on holiday. And when they go home, they keep in touch, and they go, "Look, just come and stay with us. It's only an 8-hour drive or whatever. Come and stay with us for the weekend. We had such a great time on holiday." And they go, okay. They go and stay with the family. And man, it's the most awkward film to watch. You're just sitting there going, oh my God, get out of the house. It's just, this family just start to go around a really awkward path and things just, there's so much tension and stuff there, man. And they've gone to stay at this family who aren't quite what they seemed. It's definitely worth a watch, man. It's just, it makes you think. And as a father now, it could infuriate you a little bit as well. So it's definitely a film that's just gonna play on your mind a little bit. I think it's worth it. It's on Shudder, I think.
Them Scandinavian films do tend to go a bit mad as well, don't they? They like to push the boat out.
Yeah, but I was just watching it, shouting at the screen. But there's apparently a sequel, a remake coming out with James McAvoy in, who's a great actor. So we'll see what happens there. And then the other one I wrote down is Salem's Lot. Now we've got a miniseries, didn't we? About 40 years ago. I don't know if you watched that one.
Yeah, with Donald Sutherland.
No, what's his name? David Soul. Stephen King one. I
don't think I've seen the original miniseries, mate. I think I might have seen like a remake a couple of years later. I know the iconic scene with the boys outside his window, I think it's his mate's window. But
I've only seen this one once myself, and because it was like, obviously it's 3 hours long and stuff. Because it's a mini series, I was like, oh, it took a while to get there. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna rewatch this one before I go and see this new one. But like this is another one that's been in production for ages. You know what I mean? So we'll have to see how that pans out. So
I was going to say that, was that not due to come out last year?
Yeah, they were talking about it, and then we just haven't heard nothing for ages. So it's a very famous Stephen King story. Let's hope they can put a good modern take on it. So that's basically it for the 2024 films, Tom. I'll just go through these last couple of comments here, and then we'll wrap it up if you want, mate. I know you're up early, and so like. Been going for 2 hours and 15 minutes nearly. Tom said it was a face-off joke because they're both in face-off.
Fair play.
Yeah, Tom. I know what you meant, me, but I just didn't know it.
It's late, mate.
In the conversation. So, Alpha Human says favorite horror movie of all time. Probably a good one to end on there, Tom. Favorite horror movie of all time?
I haven't got one because there's that many that I love, but I love the Evil Dead from 2013. I think that's like a perfect horror film. Right. What about you, Lara?
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 1974 is mine.
Yeah, classic.
Not one I really loved when I first watched it, and it's just grew on me over the years. Yeah. I love it. It's a bit.
I mean, the rest of the franchise is absolute garbage, but the film's great.
It's the weirdest horror franchise, isn't it? It's just all over the place. So many different paths and everything that they go in. So that is it, everyone. We've gone for 2 hours and 15 minutes here. My eyes are starting to hurt with that light. But Tom, it's been great to have you on again, mate. Sorry about the confusion at the start of the stream, mate. I'm really sorry I had to leave you there for a sec. But hopefully that won't happen next time if you ever come on. If you ever want to come on again.
Never.
If you ever want to come on again, it's up to you, mate. But yeah, sorry about that. But everyone, I hope you all enjoyed the stream. Thanks to everyone who came in the comments, everyone who's been watching. Thank you so much. And if you're watching on the replay, hope you all enjoyed it as well. So Tom, thanks for coming on, man. Hope you enjoyed it.
Me. Yeah, spot on, mate. Brilliant again. Thanks for having me.
No worries, mate. All right, thank you, everyone.
No worries. See you later.
I'll be back on another live stream at some point, hopefully in the next week or two. I'll see you later, everyone. Take care.
See you later. Bye.